It's time for Shawn and Maya in the morning.
Quick pitch to Walter, looking for the record, cuts back, he's got it, he's out of it at 25 to the 26-yard line. Walter Payton becomes the National Football League all-time leading rusher. Jordan, open, Chicago with the lead. The Chicago Bulls have won their 6th NBA championship. Chicago has won the Stanley Cup. Palmero over the head of Jenks. Uribe charges, throws, out! And the White Sox have won the World Series. A little bouncer slowly toward Bryant. He will glove it, go to Rizzo. It's in time. And the Chicago Cubs win the World Series.
What up, what up, what up? Welcome to Shawn and Maya in the morning on this TGI Mickey Ficky Friday. It's the weekend, baby. I'm fired the freak up. And oh my God, we got people already logged on watching us to check this out. I'm telling you what, we have a phenomenal show for you. Thanks for tuning in, guys. I'm your boy, the Superback Shawn Sierra. And like I said, I am fired the freak up. Listen, if you're watching us on Facebook Live, well, then I guess you found us on Facebook. And if you're not following us on our Facebook page, tisk, 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 make sure you go and you like SportsZone Chicago on Facebook. Make sure you like Shawn and Maya in the morning on Facebook as well. If you're watching us on our YouTube channel, excellent, in the words of C. Montgomery Burns. And if you're not subscribed to our YouTube channel, tisk, 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 yet again, make sure you go to YouTube and subscribe to our YouTube channel, SportsZone Chicago. Not only will you get Shawn and Maya in the morning, you'll get our other 4 live shows for a total of 5 live shows throughout the week. Unfreaking believable. And if you're watching this on our app, excellent again. Okay, and if you haven't downloaded the app, what in God's name are you waiting for? Wherever you get your apps from, make sure you go and you download SportsZone Chicago. You can take us with you on the go. You can also tweet the show. You can tweet us at SM_mornings, at SM_mornings. Or at SportsZone Shy, that's CHI, at SportsZone Shy. Now, if you want to follow me, just me, personally online, want to know what I did? Let me tell you what I did. Want to know what I did? Here's what I did. I made it nice and easy for you, folks. Nice and easy. One handle for Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, Snapchat, the Snapper, all one handle at the Shawn Sierra. If you want to follow my lovely co-host, Maya Akai, you can follow her on Facebook and Twitter at the Sports Chica. If you want to follow her on Instagram, because you do it just for the gram, you're an IGer, and just follow her at Maya_Akai. That's MAYA_AKAI. I'd be remiss if I didn't bring him out, man. He is the guy that makes it all run so smoothly for us. He is the man behind the curtain. We call him the Wiz, but more affectionately, I call him my Puerto Rican Swiss Army knife, Ivan Vargas. Ivan, what's up, Papa? How are you?
Nothing good, Shawn. Good.
Nothing good?
Nothing. I'm kind of good. It's ugly. Let's just say it's ugly out here in these streets. It's ugly out here in these Bear streets, man.
It really is. Man, we got a comment already. Look at this. Barry Henley. Barry, I know a lot of Bear fans are trying to find a silver lining in this, but there isn't one. The Bears are a shit show of an organization, period. Barry. I'd argue with you. I'd argue if I could.
And you know what, Barry? It's perfectly said, because I wanted to come out here and just find. I was trying to. I'm like, this just makes sense. And I had somebody text me yesterday. It's like, what the hell's going on? And I'm like, dude, this is all about the mistakes of the past. This is all about the mistakes of the past. Kyle Fuller doesn't need to go if you make the right decisions, with the organization. And as a GM, Ryan Pace has failed time and time again. And they parade him out there like some type of champion, and he hasn't accomplished anything. You've gotten lucky a couple times late in the draft, and you completely botched all but one first-round draft pick. So for me, look, the writing's on the wall. You know what the problem is. We as true Bears fans know what the problem is. I just don't know how to fix it.
I don't know what to do either. I swear, I wish I could argue with Barry, but I cannot. Javier De Leon. Javi, what's up, Papa? How are you? Good morning.
What's up, Javi?
Happy Friday. Happy TGI Mickey Ficky Friday. It's the weekend, and it just means more and more time for more Bears nonsense to happen. Hey, HR, what's up? Sam, how are you, Papa? Thank you, buddy. Thank you. Whoo, Charlie, it's going to be a rough one, but we have some. Look at Marshawn. You got it, baby. Another one by Pace. How many freaking times? This is like more than Ferris Bueller's, absences. 9 times. It's about the same amount. 9 times. Your son's been absent from school 9 times, Mrs. Bueller. 9 times, Bear fans. Your general manager has messed up, has jacked up a pick or a signing 9 times. Oh, my goodness gracious, great balls of fire. But listen, we got a great show for you, but we need you to get interactive. People are getting interactive already. Barry, thank you very much. Javi De Leon, thank you, Papa. Hassam, HR, thank you. Marshawn, awesome. Thank you for tuning in, guys. We need you to get involved. So here's what you do. Wherever you're watching us from, whether it's on our Facebook page, whether it's on our YouTube channel, whether it's on our app, whatever platform you're watching us on, do me a favor. Just leave a question or comment right there, and it'll come up on the screen. It'll come up in our comment section, and our super producer, Ivan Vargas, will put it up on the screen. We want you to get interactive because we know a lot of Bears fans have a lot to say. A lot are pissed because I am one of them. I am definitely one of them. Look at my – see, this is what I'm talking about. There you go, Javi. That's classic, Papa. That's classic. What's going on? I'm telling you. Oh, I don't know what's going on. I really do. I really don't, I should say. I wish I could tell you, but I don't know what is going on. Unbelievable. Man, Alex, what's up, Papa? How are you? Thanks for tuning in, man. I'm telling you, we're rolling, baby. We're hot in the chat room over here. I love it. Thank you so much. But listen, we got a great show for you. And you know what? Man, I can't wait to get it started. Our guy, he's ready. He's G'd up. What's up? G'd up in the green room, boy. He must have a hot date or something with the wife or something, a hot lunch or something, boy, because he's looking good. Our man Joseph Phillips of the Chicago Crusaders coming up just in a moment or so.
Call him GQ Joe.
GQ Joe, I see you. He's coming up in a minute. For the first hour, we're going to talk a lot of Bears, Cubs, Sox, Kyle Long, Mr. Trubisky. They all have new teams. Excellent. And at 10 o'clock, our boy, the new host of the Under Center podcast from NBC Sports Chicago, Kenneth Davis, is going to join us. We're going to talk a lot of Bears. We're going to talk a lot of NCAA as the ILO. I thought I heard someone say I&I. As they start their tournament, their run, they need 6 wins. That's all they need to do is get six wins. All right, 6 wins to hoist the national championship trophy. Their run begins today. And it's 11 o'clock. Our guy, the man, the myth, the legend, DDP himself, the draft doctor, Phil Atoshin from the Tape Never Lies Network. He's coming on, and he does not hold back at all. So we're going to have if you're an angry Bears fan, you're definitely going to want to be here for the first part of the show, the second hour of the show, and the last hour of the show. All 3 hours you're going to want to be here because it's going to be there's going to be a lot of bitching in the morning, you yelling and fire this son of a bitch. Okay, a lot of it, and you can commiserate with some angry Bears fans. I'm trying not to be because I'm hoping and praying that this guy has something after June 1st. After June 1st. Because that's when a guy is available, and that's when he might be dealt, but we'll see. But I'm still a little pissy right now. Look, did you see? Hey, everybody's looking for side teams right now. I've been telling you. Look at Javi. I'm actively seeking a side trade as a fan. Hey, Javi, listen. You and everybody else. Maya makes no bones about it. She has a side piece. She has a side piece in every sport. Okay. Remember, Minnesota, the Vikings were her side piece for a long time because she used to love Dennis Green. The Vikings have been her side piece since the 90s. All right, since the 90s, she was rocking with Minnesota, but now she's trying to find a new side piece there. In baseball, remember, she's a huge White Sox fan. Her side team was the Dodgers. Okay, it's been like that for a while. So now she's actively looking for another side team right now. So don't feel bad, Papa. A lot of people are doing it, just so they get right. Just so the salary cap bumps up in 2 years after the $113 billion contract that the NFL signed yesterday. We'll talk about that in a few days and a few topics later. And that's when the salary cap is going to jump exponentially. So we're going to talk about that as well. But listen. Guys, you know how we do the first segment of every show. It's called Top of the Morning.
Just when you want it.
Top of the morning to you. Top of the morning to you. Top of the morning to you.
The Top of the Morning segment is powered by the Chicago Crusader newspaper. And with that, we bring in their guy. We bring in our guy. We bring in your guy. Look at GQ like a mug, boy. He's the guy you can find on Twitter. He's the sports editor over there at the Chicago Crusader. He's the guy you can find on Twitter at ACA Joe. Let's bring him out. GQ Joe. Joseph Phillips. What's up, Papa?
What's up, Papa? God bless.
What, you got a court date or something?
Yes, sir. I got a big conference call at 11 today, so
you're in your drawers and shirt tie, jacket, and drawers.
I'm in a suit. I'm suited up, booted up, man. I can't do the drawers on this one. It's a big call, so I got to be on that call. But I am representing the NFL today, as you can see. I got my little pin.
See. What's all that about?
That's the draft pin, baby. First round draft pick. Yeah, we got to call it that.
First round draft pick, Joseph Phillips, baby. Yes.
Joe, you are a first round draft pick. Let me tell you. I don't give a damn if it's 32 or 16 or 4 or 3 or 2 or 1. You're a first round draft pick, damn it.
Speaking of draft picks, what's going on with the Bears?
Oh, God.
Hey, man.
Joe, if it wasn't for the NCAA tournament, okay, that's going on that we have to talk about, we could literally do this whole 3-hour show just talking about all the about the Bears and the nonsense and the former Bears who have new homes and the Bears who may be former Bears who can go look for other jobs. Oh my goodness gracious, great balls of fire. Or hey, are you lying to us about that, Joe? Or as Javi said, are you the new GM? Or what the hell? You got the NFL? Are you the new GM over there?
Might as well. I'm a part of the new GM management that's going to bring the new franchise to the city of Chicago.
You sneaky snake. Nice.
Yeah, the Chicago Cardinals are coming back, so we gotta bring them back.
It's good. I see it, but that's why you're all G'd up. I like it. I like it.
Yes,
cool.
I have credentials. Yes, I have credentials, Alex.
Why you want to know if he's got credentials? He's getting a little personal. Like
he said, I mean.
Javi. Hey, well, listen, let's get right to it. The first top of the morning topic. I had a couple of issues which way I wanted to go with this. Because the Sox played yesterday, the Cubs played yesterday. Luis Mejia. Luis, what's up, Papa? How are you? Thanks for tuning in. And I think this is the biggest, in my opinion, in my humble opinion, this will be the first top of the morning topic. MVP Mitch has found a home.
Money Mitch.
Mitch Trubisky is going to sign with the Buffalo Bills. And I won't choke like the Buffalo Bills.
No.
So a 1-year deal, $2.5 million. You know what? I let me tell you this. I am happy as a pig in slop for this son of a biscuit, man. You know why? He was not helped by Nagy at all. He had one good window of actual coaching. Yes, you are an idiot, Nagy. And with Bill Lazor, he was able to maximize Mitch's strengths for the betterment of the team, and it looked good for a while. It looked good for that 4 or 5 game stretch where they're averaging 30 points. And I hope he goes there. And here's why I'm really happy for Mitch. Okay. He's going to go work with Brian Daboll. Okay. Brian, for those of you what the hell, the how, the hey, the ho. Brian Daboll is the offensive coordinator over there in Buffalo. He's the guy who turned Josh Allen's career around. And if you don't remember, literally 2 seasons ago, Josh Allen, people wanted him out of Buffalo. They're talking just this nonsense. Burn his jersey, kick him out of here, fire him. They wanted him gone. They were calling him a bust. Josh Allen. Wow. Okay, and then last year, boom, look what he does. He takes the Buffalo Bills to the AFC East title, okay, gets them into the playoffs. You talk about a complete 180. Mitch is. I'm very happy and very smart move on Mitch's part. He's going to go there, sit behind Josh Allen, and play if there's an injury, in which we don't hope for Josh Allen. But he's going to sit and learn. And he's going to learn from Brian Dable, who's going to be part of helping Mitch kind of resurrect his career. Okay. And you know what's going to happen, Joe? I'm telling you, watch this. You heard it right here. All right. It's today, Friday, March 19th, 2021. Watch what happens. Brian Dable, because he's a hot offensive coordinator. Guess what? He's going to be the Bears' next head coach, because Pace and Nagy are going to be gone. He's going to be the Bears' next head coach. And guess who he's bringing back with new confidence and new footwork and new fundamentals? He's bringing back MVP Mitch next year. And everyone's going to be like, what? And all of a sudden, Mitch is going to lead us to the Super Bowl. That's how it's going to go, Joseph. Talk to me,
Wow.
Papa.
Well, you just predicted it here on this show. You got my back, and Shawn. And at the end of the day, Money Mitch will return. And this time, he's going to return with a ring on his finger if he continues to play the way he needs to play. Now, at the end of the day, with the Buffalo Bills, one thing I have to say is this. This is exactly what's supposed to happen to Mitch when he came here. He should have sat behind a veteran quarterback, not Mike Glennon, because Mike Glennon is not considered veteran. You're not considered a veteran when you never had really a lot of starting experience, when you've pretty much been a backup your whole career and you never started. You can't lead by example. So Mike Glennon wasn't the example that Mitch needed to follow. Mitch needed a proven winning quarterback to learn from. And I think that's what's going to happen with him in Buffalo. He's going to get a chance to sit down. It's almost like going to school on a scholarship. You get the chance to sit down and learn from the best, one of the best, and Josh Allen, who was only one game away from going to the Super Bowl. So shout out to Money Mitch on getting his money, and then also get a little education too.
You know what? And I think it's a great piece of humble pie for him. Not that I think he needed humbling, because I don't believe so. But I mean, I think this is going to give him a lot of focus. It's going to give him a lot of motivation, because when you sit behind a guy like Josh Allen, who I believe Mitch is just as talented as, okay, but he just wasn't developed properly, and that's the issue. Okay, we see what's happening with the Bulls, although let's not look at the San Antonio game, but we see what happens with the Bulls and their player development department. And that's one thing that we haven't done very well with the Bears, is develop our players. And he was not, especially the quarterback position, and he was not developed. And I've said it plenty of times before. I don't think he was ever going to get a gold jacket. Okay, but it doesn't mean he isn't good. It doesn't mean he couldn't be a very productive member of this team. Doesn't mean he couldn't lead us to a Super Bowl. You have to use him to his strengths, and he wasn't used to his strengths properly, and that falls on Matt Nagy. And you know what? The relationship is soured. I'm happy for Mitch. I'm really, really am. $2.5 million to wear a baseball hat and play scout team quarterback. I'm good with it. I'm very happy for him. The kid was nothing but a model citizen here. Okay, here in Chicago. He's not out, poking massage therapists and grabbing them and things like that. We'll talk about that in a second.
Save it.
And but you know what? I'm happy for him. He's a good kid, and I really hope he goes somewhere next year, or after in 2022. And really does a number on the Bears if he doesn't come back with Brian Dable.
Yeah, and like I said, I think what we're watching right now, we're watching Matt Nagy get rid of all of his enemies. He wants to. It's almost like an Adolf Hitler thing, and I'm not trying to quote Adolf Hitler or anything like that, but before he rose to power, he had to eliminate all his enemies so he could be the only ego in the room. You see what I mean? So, he's getting rid of guys on offense, he's getting rid of guys on defense, and before you know it, he'll have a dictatorship. You get to tell him what to do and how to do it, and without anybody, standing up, against what he's saying.
And with that, we're going to move on to the next top of the morning topics. And unfortunately, we got to stay with the Bears and some more bad news. Pardon me, veteran defensive back and first team All NFL defensive back, cornerback, Kyle Fuller is going to be released by the Bears due to his he's a casualty of the salary. He's a cap casualty. He's scheduled to make $14 million this year. His cap hit this year is going to be $20 million. It's a lot to ask a cornerback, but I'll tell you what, he was one of the best in the league. I'd say top 3-4 cornerbacks in the league. He may even be top 2 in the league, depending on who you arguably the top 2 in the NFL. And you got to let him go. And you know what's going to happen? That stupid ass team up north who wanted him, who remember when he was a restricted free agent, who signed him to an offer sheet? The Green Bay Packers. And the Bears had to match that offer sheet to keep him. Guess what? Guess where he's going? He's going up north. They're gonna restructure people if they have to. They're gonna go get them Kyle Fuller. He's gonna come back here for the next 3 or 4 years, and guess what? Play us twice, and he's gonna be on. The hits that he delivers to those people coming across the middle. He's gonna deliver those to our receivers. So way to go, Ryan Pace for jagging it up with these stupid ass contracts. In particularly the Robert Quinn contract, but the Dan Trevathan contract was pretty jacked up as well. Okay, just due to age. This is what happens. This is what happens when you overextend yourself, okay, because you screw up draft picks, and now it's literally a domino effect, and we can go through the domino effect, how it all got to this point, and it all falls squarely on the shoulders of Ryan Pace.
Yeah, just like that meme that keeps showing of Ryan Pace peeking behind the door, trying to see if the media is looking for him or not. But he's going to be doing a lot of hiding this season. So trust me, all of these silly moves that he's made. And I also believe that Kyle Fuller, it's a possibility he probably reunite with Vic Fangio. What I'm hearing out of Denver is that that's something that he's looking forward to because, Vic helped him get back to where he needed to be by challenging him.
He did big time. He challenged him in the media too, boy.
Challenged him. So, and he stepped his game up. I have to give it to him because most young guys don't respond to it. They go running home to mommy, please help me, please. But
he said these bad things about me.
Yeah, that's right. He called me a bad name. But at the end of the day, Cal Fuller didn't cry like a little baby. He took it like a man, and he stepped up to the plate. And right now, he had that right to turn down that offer that Ryan Pace threw at him by reducing his salary. And he says, no, the ship is burning, and I'm getting off while I can. And he's not the last Bear to get off. And the Bears, I don't know if they notice or not, but they look like they're in the middle of a rebuild. And this is really sad. If we don't get who we need in this draft, I like Trey Lance, by the way. I do like him. Actually, I watched his highlights. I really want him. I wouldn't mind having him. I didn't know he was trucking guys over like that. Or get Russell Wilson in June. If we can't do either of those two, it's a done deal for the Bears.
The one thing that scares me about quarterback trucking people is Andrew Luck. Like, if you remember Andrew Luck would truck people too, but Andrew Luck is not out of the league. So, that's one thing that scares me. But I think Kyle Fuller to the Broncos would be his best fit. I know the Packers are probably going to offer a lot for him, but I think the Broncos are the best fit for him. I hate to see Kyle Fuller go, man. Like, I'm sitting here, Joseph, and I'm confused. And Shawn, we were talking like as soon as we opened up the chat here this morning as we were preparing. Shawn was like, "Can you believe this shit?" I'm like, dude, I'm heartbroken as many Bears fans are for Kyle Fuller. Like, he's gone now, and we have to move on. But like you said, Joseph, this doesn't look like what they were saying. What they were saying looked like they huffed and puffed and gave us a bunch of bullshit.
I got it. It just clicked in my head on what
happened. What do you got? What do you got?
All right. Remember the saying from Jerry Cross: organizations wins championships. And for the first time in history, what you're gonna watch the accountant. She's gonna line up and put on some shoulder pads. Then you're gonna see the CFO. He's gonna line up and put on some wide receiver shoulder pads. Then we're gonna have our business administration director. She's gonna line up and she's gonna put on some shoulder pads. And then we're gonna go out and win the Super Bowl. Okay, that's exactly what's happening. They're valuing organizational people over the players. And this is the same thing the Chicago Bulls went through. 23 years later, we're still waiting for a championship. And it's the same thing for the Bears. They're doing the same exact thing as Jerry Cross did to the Bulls. They're valuing organizational people and culture over the players. And the players are being neglected like a hapless stepchild. Now we got to change this culture around. We need to have a protest going on in Hallis Hall, get all the Bears fans together, take a visit down to Hallis Hall, protest, tell them, hey, we're not going to take this mess anymore. We're boycotting the team. And if I was Bears fans, that's what I would do.
Hey, listen, I agree with you, Joseph. Listen, we got to take a quick break, and on the other side of the break, we have more top of the morning topics. So don't go anywhere, folks. Keep it locked right here. Shawn and Maya in the morning on SportsZone Chicago.
Brad Biggs.
Morning, George. I'm curious, what questions did you ask Ryan and Matt specifically about the quarterback position, and what did they offer you that provided you with confidence in regards to that position?
Well, we did discuss the quarterback position at length. I'm not going to go into the specifics because their end of season evaluation of the roster hasn't been completed. But it's pretty clear we need better production from the quarterback position in order to be successful.
Are you confident they can deliver that for you in 21?
Yes, we are.
Why the fuck you lying? Why you always lying?
Come to Chicago?
Well, I think, I had a past relationship with Bill Lazor, which was one. And just seeing at this point in my career, you want to join a team that is competitive, that is doing things the right way, is trending in the right direction. And to get a chance to come in and start for a team like this, I mean, that's a great opportunity for me and just for my future and my career and everything.
You're talking as if you're the starter. What kind of assurances have you been given by the Bears that they're done at quarterback, that they're not going to be making any other moves to bring in more competition for you?
They told me I was a starter. That was one of the reasons why I wanted to come here. And so every conversation I've had has been that.
What can you bring to this quarterback position that has been missing? What kind of a quarterback on and off the field are Bears fans getting?
Well, for me, I'm only going to talk about me. I'm a guy that brings a lot of experience. I've played in a lot of games. That have done a lot in this league. And so for me, I think that's a big part of it. It's not just about the game of football. It's bigger than that. The impact that we can make with this platform that we have is getting involved in the community and all the different areas of it. And, for me, being a great teammate, doing everything that I can to help this team, this city, and bring a lot of excitement. So I think that's one thing that I'm sure people have seen me from afar and don't know a ton, but hopefully people get to know me as time goes on.
Welcome back to Shawn and Maya in the morning on SportsZone Chicago, and that was the Red Rifle himself, Andy Dalton, looking like the Heat Miser. I'm Mr. Heat Miser. Whatever I touch, it melts in my clutch. I'm too much.
Yes, he does. Hey, Shawn, remember on the pup named Scooby-Doo, Red Herring? Every time a crime happened, they point to Red Herring.
The herring, yep.
Red Herring. If it wasn't for those pesky kids, Come on, man.
And here's the thing: is Andy Dalton is he's a good quarterback. All right, he's not Canton bound. He's not one of the top quarterbacks to ever play the game. Okay, but he is a good quarterback, and it's unfortunate that we're really upset and we're jaded and we're scorned. We're scoring as Bears fans because you promised us, Deshaun Watson was on the table, okay, and then he wasn't. Okay, Russell Wilson, we made a huge offer, and truth be told, they made a huge offer. Okay, 3 number 1 picks, okay, a third and 2 starters, and some of the starters were like Akeem Hicks, Khalil Mack, Kyle Fuller. If you're Khalil Mack, how are you feeling right about now? You know what I'm saying? Like, wait, you just put me on a trading block? You know what I mean? Like, I'd be a little salty, and I understand it's a business, but still, I don't want to be angry at him, okay? But I'm angry because of what he represents. That's my issue, and I think that's the issue that a lot of Bears fans have. We're angry at what he represents, not what he is or who he is, but what he represents. He represents another cover-up, okay? Yep. Another cover-up by Ryan Pace to try and cover his ass for all the stupid mistakes that he's made, and that's just another chance that he's gotten that he didn't deserve.
Yeah, it looked like he can be kin to Ryan Pace. All his quarterbacks got the same haircut that Ryan Pace goes after for some reason. But anyway, that's another story. But I don't know what's going on in that Bears locker room. What I'm hearing word is that the Bears are afraid of black quarterbacks. I don't know why. I think that's why Ryan Pace didn't draft Deshaun Watson in 2017. I believe that's why Ryan Pace didn't draft Patrick Mahomes in 2017, because they're afraid of black quarterbacks. I know a lot of people aren't afraid to say it. I was in a barbershop yesterday. That's all I kept hearing. Like, why do we keep overlooking the top black quarterbacks? Well, there have to be some racial issues there. There's a good old boy network there, even with the media. Like, it's just a circle of friends. Like, no one's holding anyone accountable. And the only way the Bears are going to get out of this, they're going to have to burn it down. And the way they're going to burn it down, you got to fire Ryan Pace. You have to fire Matt Nagy. And then you're going to probably have to sell the team, which will probably never happen. But, hey, wishful thinking. That's all I can say. Wishful thinking.
Listen, Joe, I don't know about – here's the thing, is they were able to hide their disdain for black quarterbacks in that draft because you had Mitch Trubisky. Because let's be real, let's keep it honest, that Mitch Trubisky was a highly rated quarterback. He was one of the highly rated quarterbacks out of that draft. So it was Deshaun Watson, it was Patrick Mahomes, it was Deshaun Kaiser, and it was Mitch Trubisky. I think they got a lifeline thrown to him with Mitch Trubisky being in there, being the only white quarterback in there, because if he didn't come out that year, then you're stuck with Deshaun Kaiser, Deshaun Watson, and Patrick Mahomes as the top 3 quarterbacks. If they didn't take one of those, they would have had to have taken one of those guys, because if they didn't take Deshaun Watson, Deshaun Kaiser, or Patrick Mahomes, if Mitch was not in that draft, then the burden of proof would have been right there that they definitely hate or they don't draft black quarterbacks. But because since they had an out, and Mitch legitimately belonged up there because of a lot of, put it this way, I won't say legitimately. Mitch was up there due to a lot of scouting reports from various scouting agencies. So he was up there with Deshaun Watson, Deshaun Kaiser, and Patrick Mahomes in that draft. And so they're like, oh, well, we don't have to deal with the black quarterback now. Now we actually have a white dude that we can take and be the face of the franchise. Bears were very fortunate that he came out the same year as those other guys, so they had a safety valve to go grab, and guess what? They grabbed it, and it came back to bite them in the ass.
Oh yeah, and this can be the end of their demise. Like I said, everything is
the beginning of their demise.
yeah. Well, the beginning of them. I'm sorry. Everything is blown up in their face right now at the end of the day, and I think this is exactly playing into Bears fans' hands because here's the thing: if they continue to make poor moves like this, guess who's going to be out of here? Ryan Pace and Matt Nagy. But this is the mystery. Something's telling me these guys have been extended, and they're not telling us about it.
I don't know. Well, listen, keep it to that. There's more top of the morning topics that we got to stay with the Bears. Well, you know what? How about a little bit of good news? How about a little bit of good news staying with the Bears? Allen Robinson has decided to sign. He's accepted the franchise tag, and he will sign the franchise tag for $18 million. You know what? Personally, I think he saw what was going on in and around the league with wide receivers not getting that kind of money. Okay. Right. And he said, you know what? At least for 1 year, I got 18 mil coming to me. And it's funny how stats and legacy go out the window when you're guaranteed all kinds of money because he don't even know who the quarterback. Well, I guess he does know who the quarterback is. So maybe it makes a lot of sense now that he saw who the quarterback is. His opinion of Andy Dalton must be pretty high because Andy Dalton. I mean, let's be honest. Andy Dalton led the Cincinnati Bengals to the playoffs. Okay, he had a stud wide receiver. Okay, and AJ Green. And they did put up some crazy numbers. So if I'm Allen Robinson, I'm like, okay, I finally got a legit another Pro Bowl quarterback, although he's a Pro Bowl alternate like Mitch, who can get me the ball. So I might as well sign for another year. Allen Robinson signed for 1 year. The Red Rifle, Andy Dalton, he signed for one year. And then you know what? Then they can deal with that after the 2021 season. But I'm not surprising. I'm not surprised that he signed that deal once they did make an announcement at quarterback.
Yeah, once they saw the Kenny Galladay, I think you saw the Kenny Galladay meeting that took place on that Wednesday night.
That was gonna be. Thanks, Joe, for stealing my thunder, but that's all right, buddy.
Right. No, I'm so sorry, but I just thought that kind of
it took place Wednesday.
Yeah,
Wednesday, and then he was in New York last night.
Right. So what I'm saying is that once Allen Robinson saw that, he was like, wait, I need to go on here and sign that. Yes, Mr. St. Rita himself, your boy, Shawn's boy, your boy, but Mr. St. Rita himself, once he saw that name pop up on the bottom line on ESPN, he was like, you know what, I need to sign that deal because there's a possibility that they can replace me, or that's a possibility I may be getting some help. So you never know. So I think Allen Robinson, he's not a dumb guy. He's a smart man. He knows what's going on. It's a business move. It's a strategy move. And he signed that franchise tag, which is smart for him. Now, since he signed it, here's the question: is he going to request to be traded? You know, and that's another story within itself.
Hey, you're guaranteed 18 mil because once he signs it, I don't believe he agreed to sign it. He said he was going to sign it. So once he signs it, okay, as soon as he takes his pen off the paper,
right,
he's getting paid $18 million or whatever. He can walk out of that room and twist and break his leg. Okay. I'm giving a hypothetical situation, one I hope doesn't happen, but he's still going to get paid every single dime of that. And that's how the franchise tag works. So when you sign that, you're getting all 18 million or all whatever the franchise tag is for that year. So you're getting it regardless of injury, regardless of anything. And Javi brings up a great point that Joe stole my thunder.
Sorry.
Just kidding. Yeah. St. Rita product. My man, St. Rita product Kenny Galladay was talking with the Bears late Wednesday night with Ryan Pace and Matt Nagy. But he's making his rounds. He's doing his due diligence, see whoever else wants to holler at him and see whoever else what they're talking money. So yesterday he was in New York talking to the Giants. I think that would be great. I think that would be a phenomenal deal. You get Kenny Galladay, okay? So you have number one, you have Robinson, you have A-Rob as a number one, you have a Kenny Galladay as a number two. Wow, that's a nice one. You have a Darnell Mooney. Okay, and now maybe you can bring up Riley Ridley and kind of help him develop a little bit. You know, there's a lot we can do now. There's a lot.
Shawn, they said last night that Galladay signed with the Giants.
I didn't hear that. He was with the Giants and yesterday in New York.
Yeah,
I didn't hear.
there's a report. I was on Twitter last night. He was like, he spoke to Kenny Galladay, and Galladay says he's signing with the Giants. So I don't know if it was true or not, but you should look into that.
I will. I didn't hear that. If he does, you know what? More power to him. I ain't mad at you, Papa. Make your money. I would love to have him here at home, but again, it's a business. Bottom line, it's a business. So it's we're gonna see. We're gonna see how that plays out. So you know what? Let's keep it moving. The next top of the morning topic. Former Bear. Oh no. Now let's get some more bad news. The Bears have given Akeem Hicks their permission to seek a trade.
Wow. So
this is like a fire sale. You get rid of Kyle Fuller. You're getting rid of, you try to trade Akeem Hicks. I mean, you try to trade Khalil Mack. Now you tell Kyle. Now you tell Akeem Hicks that he has a permission to seek a trade. I don't know, man. I don't know. This is
not looking good.
It's not. And then on top of that, one more just for spits and giggles. Former Chicago Bear Kyle Long signs a 1-year deal for up to $5 million with the Kansas City Chiefs.
Wow. This is like Debbie Downer on steroids. I mean, what can you say? Bears fans are right now. Bears fans are traumatized.
Yeah,
just from the abuse from management. I mean, like I was saying the other day, it's like an abusive relationship. This is definitely an Ike and Tina going on here. They whooping on us, and there's nothing we can do to fight back unless we just run away. And where can we run to? We need another team in the city of Chicago to challenge them. And if I was Bears fans, I'll put together a petition. I'll go to the city hall and let them know, hey, look, we can't take this no more. We put up with this for 102 years, okay?
Unfortunately, I was David Kaplan reported that the Bears have the exclusive rights to the Chicago area. So that's why I don't think there could be another team here unless the NFL steps in and says, no, we're putting another team. There's got to be enough. But you know what? As long as the Bears keep filling the stands, there's going to be no reason. There's going to be no reason to get another team here in the eyes of the NFL. Remember, this is a business move. They don't care if the Bears win the Super Bowl or not. They don't give a damn. They don't care. All right. As long as each team is pulling its own weight, okay. That's what they care about. And if the Bears were having issues there, then there might be some cause, or they may say, hey, maybe let's get another team in there. But they don't care. They don't care if the Bears finish in mediocrity, finish 3. As long as, again, they pull their weight, pull their fans, keep selling out. They don't care. And I get it. From a business perspective, I get it. But as a fan, it sucks.
Time for a boycott, man. That's all I can say. It's time for a boycott.
Well, here's one thing on the horizon. 2 years, Joseph. 2023 is what I'm looking at. Guys, this is huge. Huge. When I say huge, I mean huge. The NFL signed a deal yesterday. The deal finally came through. New rights agreement worth $113 billion. Holy shnikes. Okay, the Amazon, it involves a whole bunch of different platforms. Amazon Prime is going to be able to have videos. ABC, the games are still going to continue to be broadcast on CBS, Fox, NBC, and ESPN, ABC for like Monday night. But there's going to be a whole bunch of other things. Amazon is streamed. They're going to take over the Thursday night games, the entire Thursday night games from Fox, which has had it since 2018. ABC gets the Super Bowl back in rotation. ESPN gets some flexibility on their Monday night games. So there's going to be a lot of different places to catch the NFL. I mean, the NFL, they already own Sunday. That's the NFL's day. They own Monday Night Football. Okay, now remember last year due to the pandemic, they had Tuesday Night Football. You still got Thursday Night Football, Saturday football they had last year. It's like Sunday, Monday, Tuesday, Thursday, Saturday. Like, God bless it. Give somebody else a chance. But here's what it means, Joseph. Here's what it means. it means due to the salary cap going down this year, guess what's going to happen? Maybe I don't think it's not going to be this year. Maybe next year in 2022, but definitely in 2023, and it might be 2022. That salary cap's going to go up.
Yes,
that salary cap's going to go up, and there's going to be a $200 million salary cap because right now it's 180 something, if I believe. Okay, and then it might be $250 million. Then there might be a $300 million salary cap, which means we're going to have a couple of $50 million quarterbacks in addition to Patrick Mahomes. Dude, there's money about to come to the NFL, which means if you're on a rookie deal right now and it expires next year or the year after, and you're a decent player, you're going to get paid. And and I'll tell you what, I'm so happy that Ryan Pace will not be around to manage that amount of money, because he screwed up with the salary cap was fine the last couple of seasons. He overpaid people. Now you can give people, more player favorable contracts because the cap is higher. You're not going to increase the amount of players on the roster, which means you can increase the amount of pay for the players. So you're going to get a much better quality of player. Like if you sign me for 10 million or you sign me for 15 million, man, me personally, I would play the same way. But you get a little more money. It's players. Don't worry, it's going to be collectively bargained. But it's still, I'd be a lot happier as a player. Knowing that money's coming literally within next season, or it definitely by 2023.
Yeah, this is a good thing for the Bears, but hopefully, like you said, Ryan Pace and Matt Nagy aren't nowhere near that budget, because at the end of the day, Ryan Pace has enough contracts like blue ribbons, okay? So we don't need him blowing that money in the future. Now, we're still waiting for this Russell Wilson trade. If it goes through and Ryan Pace decides to mortgage the future, then, hey, at least we can say in 2022 and 2023, we may have a little money to work with to go out there and acquire some free agents to come to this team and put around Russell. So hopefully that will be the case.
Yeah, see, and guys, you have to understand, here's the issue with the Russell Wilson deal. It's not off the table yet. And, and what I had said, and this is why. First of all, Pete Carroll nixed the deal. It was up to Pete Carroll, and reports are that he nixed the deal. They might have just said, hey, listen, let's keep the money aspect out of it and just say you nixed it, because here's the issue. The Seahawks, and this is according to Patrick Finley on the Bears beat from the Chicago Sun-Times, right? If the Seahawks would eat $39 million, a $39 million dead cap hit if they move him before June 1st.
That is a lot. That's a lot.
$39 million, and it's it's only 180, so you're talking 1/6 of your so basically $40 million. It's literally a little less than a quarter of your salary cap on one player. So after June 1st, I believe a lot of those conversations are going to be reopened. And if you got Andy Dalton, cool. How about this? What if you're Andy Dalton and then they go and they trade and they get Russell? They might, I didn't think about this. I just thought about it right now. Andy Dalton might be in a trade going to Seattle.
That's right.
So they get a starting quarterback for a year. That might be. Now I could get behind.
Shawn, you can't trust anyone in this business, man.
Nope.
Okay?
No.
I mean, they told this man, you're going to be the starting quarterback. I guarantee, in the words of Joe Namath, I guarantee. And he got the red rifle all pumped up. He's smiling and everything. He got his hair all slicked up. And then he's going to find out after June 1st. Unfortunately, we had a change of plans. We're going to bring in Russell Wilson, so we're sending you to Seattle. That's just a bad look for this organization. I mean, come on now. I mean, Bears, have some integrity.
Well, we didn't lie to you. You're still going to be the starter, just going to be in Seattle.
So
you got DK Metcalf out there. You got a great wide receiver, so go ahead.
Yeah, here's a couple of Starbucks. We'll call you tomorrow. Come on now. That's cold-blooded.
It is. It really, really is. So, that is the crazy world of the NFL, man. Let me tell you, whew, and then one last thing in the NFL before we switch to some other top of the morning topics. Why are they doing this? Okay. Deshaun Watson faces 3 lawsuits from massage therapists who allege sexual assault and sexual misconduct. Their attorney, it's all but one attorney. And this guy's like some political figure down there or something. And he says he has 9 women. So here's one or two things. Either they're trying to ruin his credibility for this lawyer who's some political dude or something, or Deshaun Watson. Stop acting like a freaking asshole, okay? Stop acting like an asshole. Because you're money, you know what I mean? You have to stop. All right. If you're going to do that, just go get hookers. Just go get hookers. Okay. If you're going to do that, their hooker's job is to do exactly what you want to do to the massage therapist. Okay. So just go get hookers, keep it on the down low and be done with it. But when you get people like this, and if, and this is a big if this is credible and he's doing what they're saying, what they're claiming that he's doing, dude, just go get a hooker, go get a call girl, go. I mean, but seriously,
I hear you.
It makes sense because that's their job. That's what they're doing. But and if it's not true, then why are they trying to tear this man down? I don't know. I don't know. And I mean, I do know because I have a lot of friends who are pro athletes, and sometimes they get a little crazy. They'll get a little crazy because they are athletes, because they are millionaires, because they've been given everything in life, because they've been given everything because they've been a great athlete. But if this is true, this goes to my comment goes to Deshaun Watson. Go get professionals for that. If it's not true, why the hell is someone trying to tear this man down?
Well, I got 4 words for you: black male, MAIL, and black male, MALE. So here's the deal, okay? It can be either one of the two. I think it's the first one, John. I think this is blackmail because I think this is the owner. They said that the lawyer that's filing this lawsuit is next door neighbors with the Houston, Texas owner. Okay? So you know what that means. If he's the next door neighbor to the Houston, Texas owner, there's something going on. There's something fishy about this whole thing, bro. It just doesn't look right. And then why are they coming out now? First of all, no offense to masseuses, but y'all like glorified prostitutes. Because anytime you got to put your hands on another person's body, that's kind of nasty anyway. But that's another story.
Have you ever had a professional massage?
Oh, I'm not having one either. The only person going to be putting hands on this body is my wife, okay? You're not touching my body because I don't know where your hands been at the end of the day. But that's another story.
QAnon Joe, baby. QAnon Joe. Hey, Louis Mejia has a right. Just have 5 girlfriends. Yes. Hey, listen, and I know some people may not like this or say whatever, but listen, this is a different world than the world you and I live in, okay? So get off your freaking high horse if you don't know how the hell professional athletes, movie stars, and rock stars live, okay? Rap star, if you don't know that life, so shut the hell up. Here's what they'll have 3 or 4 girls all living in the house. They'll be there. This is, trust me, I'm telling you because I had friends who were pro athletes. They've said, hey, we've got 3 at the house, 4 at the house. So this is how it is. So stay home. You know what I'm saying? Deshaun Watson, stay home. You got 2 or 3 or 4 different ones. You know what I mean? There's a whole bunch of different combinations you can have, tonight, tomorrow, and the rest of the week, and the rest of the 6, 8, 10 months that you're with them, whatever. If this is true, man, you got to be smarter than this, man. But I agree with you, Joseph. Something sounds fishy because all of a sudden 1 came out, and then 2 came out, then a 3rd came out, and there's like allegedly 9 women.
9.
Come on, man.
9.
Come on, man.
Here's the deal, man. At the end of the day, man, like it's just something fishy about this whole thing, bro. At the end of the day,
yeah,
it just seems like a setup. Like, okay, you're gonna force your way out of here. We had this evidence against you all along, okay? So I think Deshaun kind of knew that, but when you hire masseuses for the team, they working for the organization. So I'm just being honest. And a lot of this stuff they're saying that take place when it came to the text messages on game day, okay? This is happening on game day, 10 in the morning on a Sunday morning. Like, what is going on here, okay? What is going on here? Get it together.
If it's come on, dude. A lot of guys are gonna. Well, I'll tell you what, it varies. It varies because a lot of football players, and I'm going to exclude myself because I'm not getting this conversation.
Oh yeah,
but
you're not in this conversation, Shawn.
Some people would like to have had some fun the night before a game. Okay. Some guys that I play with, they'd like to have fun the night before a game. Some guys would say, no. It's got to be, 2 or 3 days before the game is the last time I'll go have some fun. So it varies because I was going to say no football player wants to do that, but I do know some guys who, the night before the game or the afternoon, because we get taken to a hotel and put away, sequestered, so to speak. But the night, maybe during the days when they got it, who knows? It's the day before the game is when, some guys obviously had a little release. I don't.
Hey, it's just like they used to tell an athlete back in the day, okay? Whatever you do before the big game, they used to tell it to the boxers. Didn't they used to tell it to boxers?
Wiggle your legs.
You can't do that with your goal. You have to take a break. But here's the thing: this sounds like some Jeffrey Epstein type stuff, man. I mean, they're about to start taking this stuff deep, like they're looking at the flying logs and all this crap. It's a conspiracy, man. That's all I can say, Shawn. It has to be a conspiracy.
You know what? If it's a chance to tarnish his name, and maybe they're trying to keep him in Texas, in Houston, because most teams are going to do their due diligence. They're going to say, okay, well, listen, if this guy's a trouble, because mind you, there's civil suits. They're not actual criminal suits. Okay, there's civil suits. Then because there's nothing criminal about a man wanting to have sex with him unless you force yourself onto her. Then there's criminal. Okay, so if they did this, why weren't any police? Why wasn't anything filed? Why no charges? Why were no charges filed? Now they're coming out and saying, "Oh, here's what I want." Now here's what I. No. There's just too much shady stuff going on. It was like with the Bill Cosby thing. It was one woman and 2 women, and 60 women. Like, okay, Bill probably got a little freaky, but 60 women. I'm not saying it's not possible. You're an athlete. You're a movie star. You're an athlete. The amount of women that you have, you can't even fathom. And I'm telling you from experience, when I lived in Italy, you can't even fathom the amount of women that you have access to. It's insane. So, but still, all of a sudden now 9. There was 1, then 2, and they're coming out one day, the next day, boom, 9. Come on, man. Something's fishy. I think they're trying to tarnish his reputation, so teams will back off and stop requesting trades for Deshaun Watson, because his character is in question. Okay, if that's the case, then you better get all politicians. Their character is in question. They need to get voted out. Okay, mayors, senators, presidents. Okay,
oh, yeah.
If you're gonna go that route,
secret societies. No,
yeah.
That's a whole different.
So, but anyway, yeah. So I don't know what to believe. I do something in my gut feeling tells me it's a setup. They're trying to just tarnish his name and drag his name through the mud. Is my gut feeling. But then again, he might be freaky deaky, and you just don't know. So,
yeah, maybe this is supposed to came out after he retired, but it's coming out a little earlier. Just like the LeBron James PED scandal. That's another show within it.
Oh, goodness gracious. Hey, on that note, we got to go. We got to take a quick break. Joseph always getting that a quick LeBron jab in there. Joe, I could always count on a quick LeBron jab. And there was only one today, and I was like, when's that coming? When's that coming? Joe's like, I got to go. Real quick. Hey, listen, Papa, you have a great weekend. It's going to be a phenomenal weekend. It's going to be 50s, low to high 50s or 60s tomorrow, excuse me. So it's going to be gorgeous, dude. Take little man, the wife, take him out. Enjoy this beautiful weather because it's going to get go cold again.
Go fight in the line. Let's go get Drexel today.
Hey, first round draft pick Joe, baby. First round.
Yeah. I feel like Shaq. What first round draft pick? No, we'll get this on it. Not a Christian Laettner, neither Alonzo.
Not Alonzo Mourning. I got you. What's up, Doc? Can we rock? Don't trip. I know my. I got it. Hey, Joe, we'll see you on Monday, Papa. Okay.
All right. God bless. Peace out.
All right. Listen, we got to take a quick break because on the other side of the break, our guy who's taking the baton over for the next hour, he is ready to roll. It's our guy. He is the host of that Davis Show, and he is the new host of the NBC Sports Chicago Bears podcast called the Under Center Podcast. Kenneth Davis, and we have a lot more Bears conversation coming up next. I want to find if he thinks they're trying to drag Deshaun Watson's name through the mud, or if he's just freaky deek. We're going to talk to Kenneth Davis on the other side of the break. So don't go anywhere, folks. Keep it like right here. Shawn and Maya in the morning at SportsZone Chicago.
Get out while you can. Don't get a sucker no statue. Give him guts. I told you I wasn't going away. You got your shot. Now give me mine. Why don't you get the hell out of there? Shut up, old man. I ain't going nowhere.
AutomotiveMap.com presents the Sports Flash on 1330 and 95.9 The Zone. The NCAA men's basketball tournament is underway. First round action today. Illinois squares off with Drexel, 12:15 Central tip. 3 Central tip-off today. Loyola battles Georgia Tech. The Blackhawks dropped a 4-2 decision last night at Tampa. Each team scored twice in the first period. Tampa with 2 in the third. Matthias Janmark and Dylan Strome with the goals for Chicago. 19 saves in net for Kevin Lankinen. 3 Central puck drop tomorrow at Tampa. The Bulls visit the Nuggets tonight. Chicago's 9th in the Eastern Conference. 9 games out of first place. Coming off a 106-99 home loss against San Antonio Wednesday. Seahawks head coach Pete Carroll reportedly nixed the trade that would have sent Russell Wilson to Chicago. Spring training on Thursday, the Cubs 4-3 over Cleveland. The White Sox beat Kansas City 9-7.
Hi, I'm Brooke Burke, and I have a question for you. Do you ever consider just how important your feet are? They're quite literally the foundation of your body, and if you don't take care of them, you're asking for problems. That's why I wear Skechers' new Arch Fit shoes. Skechers teamed up with podiatrists to make a shoe that provides total foot and arch support. They used 20 years of data to design a podiatrist-certified insole that distributes support across the arch, no matter what foot type you have. Plus, Skechers Arch Fit provides extreme comfort. In fact, these just might be the most comfortable Skechers I've ever worn. Whether I'm walking or standing, they feel like a dream. Just try them on and you'll feel the instant difference. So if foot care is as important to you as it is to me, check out Skechers Arch Fit. They're podiatrist certified, they're comfortable, and they look great. Because when it comes to preserving my body, I know Skechers has my back. And my feet. Get the support you need with Skechers' new Arch Fit at a Skechers store near you, Skechers.com, or wherever stylish shoes are sold.
Welcome back to Shawn and Maya in the morning at SportsZone Chicago. Just got off the phone with our guy, GQ Joe. Joe had a couple names today, boy. It was GQ Joe. It's always QAnon Joe. But what was the other one we just called? We just made up the nickname we had for him.
First round draft pick Joe. Number one, first round Joe. Oh no, that wasn't. I know exactly what you're talking about. I'm gonna have to look back at
it. Joe was on fire today, boy. He was on fire. And listen, we got
GQ Joe.
So he was, man. I thought he had a court date or something. He was all in a suit and tie. Like, you got a court date? You got that assault charge? No, I'm just playing. I'm playing. It's that jokes. I got jokes. It's Friday. The weekend's gonna be phenomenal. You know, as my guy likes to say, you can be all full of that Rona this weekend. So let's bring him out, man. He's a good friend of the program. You see him on here every Monday and Wednesday. Actually, he's doing overtime because he was on with us Wednesday to talk a little Bears. He is the host of That Davis Show and the new host of the NBC Sports Chicago Bears podcast called the Under Center Podcast. You can find him on Twitter at That's Davis. Bring out our boy, Kenneth Davis. Kenneth, what's up, Papa?
What's going on, man? You guys enjoy yourself today, I see.
Man, it's Friday, baby. It's the weekend, baby.
It's wild. And the crazy thing is I didn't think we was going to be, of course, we always end up touching on everything. I didn't think we were going to go into the Watson situation, and me and who you had on last Friday. Me and Shawn Davis the last couple of days have been going back and forth about it. Just like, what the hell? Basically. I feel your vibes, but it gets to a point, and I'll be honest with you. I'm usually, and I think sometimes we have to acknowledge our biases, and we don't do that a lot. You see, like the Sharon Osbourne situation on CBS. Sometimes people I like Deshaun Watson, so my initial reaction is to cape for him, and I felt the way initially, like you said, if it was one. I'm like, all right, they're trying to smear his name because, I mean, I had McClain on my show like 2 months ago from the Houston Chronicle. And the thing that he kept saying, 90% of the fan base is behind Deshaun Watson, that Deshaun Watson's character is premium, to say the least.
Mm-hmm.
So you going along with that, you usually want to sit and lie in that as somebody who, if that's you're a fan of that athlete. But it gets to a point when it's just if it walks like a duck and it quacks like a duck, it's a duck. And with so many ladies, regardless of what type of lawyer this is, and this lawyer being a ambulance chaser, quote unquote, kind of style lawyer, it gets to a point where so many ladies keep coming out and they have the same story. What's going on? There are professionals who you can pay to give you these services if this is what you desire. Instead of assaulting women and tricking them into doing something that they necessarily didn't come to do. I'm just saying, I'm going along with the story. If the stories are true, that if this is his fetish, he could have found someone that will provide for him when it comes to his fetish and have them sign NDAs. And it just gets to the point where it's just like, dude, what the hell is going on?
So you're on the hooker route, right? With Shawn. You're on the same page as Shawn? Just go get a hooker?
Yeah, for sure. Go. And mind you, I've never had a hooker. I'm not dissing having a hooker. I'm not saying you should listen. If
should or shouldn't, but
if a person is providing you a service consensually, that's between you and that person. All right. Period. All right.
Go to
That's
Vegas.
between.
Go to Nevada. It's legal.
And you'll know, and you know when you see him too. I remember my first time in Vegas, so many odd years ago, looking at the old lady like that is a lady of the night, right? Like clearly, right? And it wasn't like
she goes, "Hey, big boy, how you doing?"
No, it was just the drain. Listen, the drain of the lifestyle in her face and body was like, oh, and it wasn't like she was a tip, but you could just see like she was real with hers.
She was
working, and but you like you said, you can back page it, so and so many roses for whatever service. But I mean, again, if this is if he's innocent, well, if he's guilty. He could have saved himself from this situation. Even regardless, in general, if he's like happy endings Watson, there's places to get happy endings. Ask Bob Kraft, right?
I'm saying.
Ask Bob, hey Bob, where's the best happy ending spot in Jupiter? You know what I'm saying? I'm gonna fly down. He's getting them from Atlanta. It's weird. You know what I'm saying? If he's innocent, it's way too weird. And if he's guilty, man, he needs to be locked up, to be honest with you. If he's guilty, forget civil suits. If he's guilty.
But that's what lends me to believe all this BS that it's civil, because if he raped you, because then basically that's what it is. If he raped you,
one woman said he forced her to commit a sexual act on him.
So then why civil? Why, you know what I mean? That's why civil. So that's in being a professional athlete, having professional athletic
you
friends,
seem like you was really getting into Italy, huh?
And I'll tell you,
you was Italian stallion. The man was like, "I'm gonna let you know in Italy."
I can neither confirm nor deny that statement. Okay, I can neither confirm nor deny that statement. All right.
How many of your kids over there in Italy?
Hey, they would have found me by now with the internet.
There's
I think
so many superbacks over there, little superbacks.
they have the internet. They probably would have found me. I think
they over there like my son. He plays the soccer, but he just keeps bruising and beating and rushing like a running.
Hey, this is not about me. This is about someone else.
Oh man, it's ridiculous.
Yeah, so it's to me, what it is just a setup, and I think it's maybe a way to tarnish him, and because NFL teams kind of shy away from that nowadays. Well, he's this, he's that, his character. He really hasn't won anything yet. So if he had won something, if he was Patrick Mahomes and this happened, people would say you're bad. We'll still sign him, but bad. Don't do it again. You know what I mean? But Deshaun Watson hasn't done anything, and I think maybe this might be something coming out of Houston, planted. Because trust me, dude, there have been so many different things that they'll get people to say what they want, because there's more than the organizations and people and friends of the organization. They have enough money. They have enough money.
This seems to be diving deep into Italian Shawn. They'll do what. Listen, I'm telling you, they'll do whatever. Italian Shawn was a wild man.
Well, I will tell you, not about Italian Shawn. I will tell you a story but not about Italian, Shawn. It's how I'll tell you a story, a very quick story on why I left Italy, and this is how deep in political it goes. So we were destroying the full season because I came at the end of the season, and they signed me for the next season. And that full season, dude, we were destroying. Dude, I was leading the league in rushing. We had the number 2 quarterback in Italy because they have a national team that goes and plays like France, Germany, all this stuff. So we had so many national team players in our squad, dude. We were destroying much. I was like getting $120, $130 a game. Quarterback, we had a number 1 wide receiver. We had one of the top linebackers, one of the top defensive linemen. Dude, we were stacked, and there was no stopping us. Nothing was stopping us but injury. Nothing. What happened is the National League players had to take drug tests, okay? And so they switched samples with our quarterback, who's 6'3". He was the number 2 quarterback. He was the backup quarterback on the national team. He was 6'2", 6'2"-ish, 185. He looked like Tom Brady, but he could throw. Tom Brady's combine pick, okay? Literally not a cut on his body. And they switched samples with our offensive lineman who was 275 pounds and ripped to shreds. They switched samples. He didn't, because they had a drop. He didn't come up with steroids, but our quarterback did. And so he got suspended by league rules for 2 years. Okay. And so now all of a sudden we had noticed in weeks leading up to that, my coach had noticed, like, why are all these other quarterbacks getting picked up, and teams were having 3 quarterbacks as opposed to just 2. And like, but this guy, they got a good quarterback and a backup, and and he was noticing that, and he mentioned it to me. I'm like, I don't know. I was just out there chasing fun. Okay. I wasn't worried about it. And then we figured out why. So when our quarterback got suspended, we had no other quarterbacks to go get because they're taken by other teams. And so we were still winning, but we weren't winning as handily. And the attendance started to decline because they liked the long ball, and we didn't have any great quarterbacks, really good quarterbacks. So they had to make a change because they have an X amount of Americans per team, and they needed a good quarterback, because we had the number 1 wide receiver. We had a really good tight end, and so they needed a quarterback to do that. And that's why I left Italy, because they wanted either Milan or Rome to win the championship, and there was no one stopping us that year, dude. I'm talking nobody. But that's how crazy it goes. So I've seen that. I've experienced that firsthand, dude. And so I had to leave Italy while they came in and brought an American quarterback. So if they want to set you up, they can set you up. I'm not saying. I'm just saying.
We hear you. We hear you. The lost mixtape of Italian Shawn. Stories. Dude, but again, just on a serious note, it doesn't sound right, and I don't, just because I would prefer that, and that's wrong for me to say that I would prefer that to be the outcome. But it sounds fishy all around. But for him to continue to place himself in this situation, what the hell is going on? And I'll tell you another thing. If we're gonna let me go Joseph on this. See, I don't trust Dabo in the first place, and the fact that these are Dabo's boys. And I shouldn't say boys, but still, because they should have come out against Dabo in the past with some of the antics that he has, So the whole Clemson thing is fishy in the first place. Let me go full Roll Tide on that. All right, like watch all of these guys, watch all of these cats. But yeah, it's the fact that, listen, and it's crazy. I made a joke. I was on a friend of both of ours. You've had him on the show, Josh Hicks, in the Scope podcast yesterday. And I think I made a comment, may have been on my show. Man, that Ryan Pace is upset because he can't get his hands on Watson because of this. But then it hit me this morning and I was wrong. Ryan Pace is so happy that now you can't say Mitch or Deshaun Watson. You basically got to pull Deshaun Watson out of the 2017 draft. It's only Patrick Mahomes now, because it's like, what? You let this deviant run free in Chicago? I hate to say it, but it's facts right now. And listen, this is the crazy thing. If it is a smear campaign, he's been smeared. Like, you can never undo. When we were younger, and I hate to put these people's name out there, but I remember, I think it was like Derek Coleman and Rasheed Wallace, I believe. And they were accused of rape, because I think they're 2 Detroit dudes. They were accused of rape, right? And I remember, I don't know if Chris Webber was in that, but I remember they were exonerated. And I remember one of them stating, the bad part about this is that as many headlines as the alleged assault got, the proven innocence not going to get the same headlines. And people are always going to associate you with that. So even regardless if Deshaun Watson is proven innocent, this will always linger because some people aren't going to pay enough attention to the innocent part because that's not the salacious part. So the smear has been smeared. If it is a smear campaign, it has worked. Basically,
the only way to get rid of that, Ken, the only way to get rid of that is if you countersue. Because if you countersue and win, that, believe me, then that's going to be headlines.
I'm with you, but it's enough people still aren't going to care because the people that wanted to hold something against you, they have it. And especially like now, the world we live in, live in a world where you can live in your own echo chamber. Yeah, but you can live in your own echo chamber. Like when we were younger, you didn't have stations that they were made up for just one echo chamber. Like you can live in your own echo chamber and the facts can be alternative facts, okay, to say the least. So that's like you can never unring a bell, you know what I'm saying? And the bell is ring, ring, like shorty, listen, I don't know. And then this is another one I was thinking like about like his girlfriend. I wonder if his girlfriend heard some of these details and was like, that weirdly sounds like the stuff that he likes for me to do to him. Like I'm just saying, I'm interested in it.
The backstory. No, I get you.
Yeah, but it's just it's messed up, man. Because
if I were him, I definitely would come back, dude. I'm suing them. I'm suing all of them if these aren't true. Because I'm like, again, you know what? This shows when you come at remember the Derrick Rose situation when that chick was trying to extort Derrick Rose and Reggie was like, oh hell no, you ain't giving her a dime. And Derrick,
that was weird too though.
Derrick's like, you know what, I'm filing, I'm not in a lawsuit against you. We're going at this. You ain't getting jack spit off of me. If I'm spending money, it's on my attorney to clear my name. And that's what I think he needs to do. And if he is freaky deaky, then you're stupid for doing it because you just said, Ken, there's more than enough people in that industry to provide you that service that keep it on a DL, you know what I mean? Because that's their job. So, but it's
you know what? How we don't get to use DL anymore? I've been thinking about that this past week. Like stuff that was taken from us. We used to use DL in a different fashion. Now DL is like, oh, okay. But yeah, definitely. But one, let me say this as being the ultimate wishy-washy person on this one. I never trusted his face. But I'm just like something about that kid. But but go ahead, Shawn. You can transition. We can get off of this.
Let's get off of him. Let's get to our Bears. I don't know how much longer my Bears, but we'll get to the Bears.
I told you to this year that I was going to leave this organization alone this offseason if they kept disrespecting me, right? Mm-hmm. And
who's your side piece?
Listen, I don't have a side. Under Center Podcast is my side piece because now I have to watch this mess in general. Dude, the amount of disrespect that's been given. Let me lead with this. The person that should be the angriest, and now I will say this. I didn't say this on the Center before because I was saying like this is the CBA. Allen Robinson should be so effing upset at what's taking place. You're doing all this for Andy Dalton. I'm just saying that maybe there's another shoe's going to drop, but basically this is for Andy Dalton and Jermaine Ifedi, right? That you and I asked Adam Hogue this on the podcast. I said, with what the moves that the Bears are making, instead of it being a situation where Kyle Fuller or Hicks, and I was worried about Fuller because of Jalen Johnson, Kyle Fuller or Hicks being extended so you can lower their cap hit, they may just release one of them instead because it's not enough money from the cap hit. And lo and behold, Kyle Fuller, Mr. Separating the man from the ball, is gone, right? And we got effing.
Who do we have?
Can I drop the F word on here real quick? Yeah. Fucking Andy Dalton. All right. What? And I'm gonna get one more. What the fuck is going on here? All right. Dude, are you out of it? And then Akeem Hicks. So now, and you tell Akeem Hicks to go seek a trade. So now we're going full Trestman on this bad boy, right? That's what we're going full Emery and Trestman as far as at the defense, right? We're going to try to get this offense. Okay, we saw how then until Vic Fangio got here, our defense was trash. And growing up in Chicago, you'd be like, man, you know what? Defense. I love a defense, but man, defense is overrated. No, it's not. All right, wait till your team's defense sucks. And then you'll realize how vital a defense, even if the defense can just hold the other team, is. And now we're going full Emery Angelo and getting rid of two of our best defenders. My favorite defender last year was Kyle Fuller because of how physical he was playing coming downhill, all right? And you know how important Akeem Hicks is. And, dude, Bilal Nichols is not the same type of dude. Bilal Nichols is a way much more of a penetrator than a guy that can take on two and penetrate and just be as strong as Akeem Hicks is strong. Like, they had the perfect pieces, especially just to say in that front seven when we're talking about Nichols going back out, not playing nose tackle, being a 5 technique, but they're two different 5 technique type of guys, basically. You know what I'm saying? And it's just, this is ridiculous. This is stupid. They should be, listen, George McCaskey needs to revisit the reflections that he had at the end of the year, and it's time to just shut this whole ish down and flip it, because we're not going anywhere. And I don't care if you get the young quarterback, because who's going to be there on the other side of the ball to help him? You know what I'm saying? Like, it's so messed up, and it lets you know that there's no plan. Like, that's the thing.
That's the plan. No plan.
That's the plan. Yep.
Yeah, we're flying at the seat of our pants, basically. Yep. So it's just time. I understand that we can overreact, and let's just say in the Matt Nagy era, they were 12, 8-8, 8-8. All right, so you're like, listen, that's not a losing season. But the proof is in the pudding. Look at this. This is ridiculous what's taking place. And as of right now, we did this for Andy Dalton.
Yep. Yep.
And
go ahead, Ivan.
No, I was going to say, I was hearing from a bunch of people. I think me and Shawn talked about it. My boy Luke from the Basement Monsters podcast told me about it a while back. And he was like, look, this is how the Bears are going to attack this. They're going to go ahead all in for the offense, and that's fine. That's what we want. But you're going to look at it in the next couple of years, and you're going to be like, where the hell's the defense? And there's going to be no defense to be in sight. I feel like that's where they're trending. They're going to go all in on this offense and go ahead and let the defense, pretty much cave in and go from there. I don't know if that's the right route. I think it just looks better.
Ivan,
Andy Dalton, man.
Stop bullshitting, dude. You know it's not the right route. You know it's not the right route. You know it's not the right route. All these things, these are the dominoes that have fallen from these are the dominoes that have fallen from the draft picks. These are the dominoes that have fallen from these fucked up draft picks when you drafted Kevin White. Now I know you couldn't predict injury, okay, but that was a bust, okay.
This is the only route. This is the only route. This is the only route. Then
you had to go sign Allen Robinson because he was a bust. Then you had Leonard Floyd, and Leonard Floyd was a bust here. He goes as a situational wrestler in LA, and he's doing great. And he got the same defensive end or coach that he had here over in LA, and now he's doing what he's doing very well over there. Why? I don't know, but he was a bust here. Then you got Mitch. Okay, all these things had to be covered up, and then you get the Robert Quinn signing, which is really killing us. This guy has just made too many high quality mistakes. Okay, if you mess up on a 5th rounder, 6th rounder, except what's his name, J. Charles Leno, you gave him a lot of money. But if you mess up on those guys down there, okay, fine, they're 5th and 6th and 7th rounders. But you can't keep messing up on these first round picks, which he did. And everything after that is a consequence of this. The poor salary cap situation that we're at, and part of it's COVID, okay? But if you didn't sign those horrible contracts, especially the Robert Quinn one, even the Danny Trevathan one's still a little suspect, especially now. Man,
yeah, you can't blame the Danny Trevathan one. No, nobody knew Age was going to hit Trevathan like that. I'll defend him on that one. Nobody knew Father Time was going to catch Dan Trevathan ass last year.
In the offseason. And it was in the offseason.
Nobody knew that. Nobody knew that.
He better start training.
Listen, real quick. Truman, there's something big going to happen. That's the only explanation. The problem is it's not going to be big enough.
Yeah.
Because that's where we're at right now. Dude, you can bring Russell Wilson into the situation. Guess what? It's going to be worse than the Seattle team with Russell Wilson on it. You know, like he's not going to come here and the Bears are going to be better than what Seattle's been for the last 10 years. No, they're going to be worse than what Seattle's been for the last 2 years.
Look at what John said. I think that's perfectly stated. Put that back up. It's not the high prices and the mistakes. It's the high price and its fixes. That's
Great point.
Great point.
And listen, now this is hindsight 2020, but Pace is supposed to know this. You drafted Leonard Floyd. You kept telling us every year at walk day how dynamic he was and how you can use him in so many different situations, right? That sacks weren't really important, even though you wanted sacks. Then you let him go for a guy that can only do sacks. They could have signed Leonard Floyd for about $40 million with about 20 guaranteed compared to that deal that he got with the Rams because he was their guy. Nobody else wanted him. If somebody else wanted him, the Rams wouldn't have been able to sign him to what the damn fifth-year option was. And that's all they gave him, what the fifth-year option was. So you had him and you let him go, all right? So you didn't even trust the guy that you drafted. So and again, this is me on the outside looking in, but you get paid to do this, right? Like I know his hair, and I said it Wednesday, he has a terrific head of hair. I understand that. It's terrific. It captures you, and you get lost in it at times. But it's time you got to wrap this one up. It's just time. Don't let them do anything else because they don't know what they're doing. This is to the point where it's now I'm lying. I'm a liar right here. This is to the point where it's worse than Emery and Trestman. It's not. Because when you look at what Ryan Pace, I'll give him props, did for that defense, regardless of where he missed, where he had to replace, it's a better team. It's a better team than Emery and Trestman. But you know what the thing was? You knew to cut the cord on them. Now it's the first time here where it's like, whoa, this is crazy. No, click. It's crazy. It's time to click it. You know, it's time to click this one and it's time to be accountable with, and I'll go, you need a football person. All right. You need people that know what the hell is going on, and your son really needs to step to the back. And I know he considers himself not interfering, but these are the times when the owner does interfere. When it's like, what the hell are y'all doing with my ish? Right? Like, this is ridiculous. This is a time where you come down and you let them know, and you don't just keep telling them, guys, just keep trying to fix it. Guys, you know I'm behind you. No, you're an owner. Those men don't fear their jobs enough, or they didn't when it counted, because now they're just throwing everything against the wall and finding out what sticks.
So peep this. So the NFL, and I need you to comment on this. The NFL got some new deal, $113 billion streaming and media deal yesterday with Amazon and the ABC, NBC, ESPN, all this, Disney, all that stuff. So it may happen next year. But definitely 2023, this salary cap is going to jump exponentially. Talk to me about that real quick. And, where do you think the Bears are going to be? Because now they're going to be some $45, $50 million quarterbacks not named Patrick Mahomes. Because you get to a $300 million, $250 to $300 million salary cap. Woo, Charlie. First of all, the Bears are going to be allowed. You'll be able to get to pay better players. Everyone else will, but nonetheless, give me your thoughts on this salary cap bump, which is going to happen maybe next year for 22, but definitely by 23.
I haven't said this anywhere. I think it's bullshit, and I'm gonna tell you why.
Okay.
Why can't they bail themselves out this year? And I've been thinking this for the last 2 weeks. They have the jackpot. You know what you have coming down. You don't have to lower the cap like that this year. You can bail yourself out. The money's in the bank, basically. So why are we sitting here like, well, because of the pandemic, you got a lottery ticket already. You can't sit there and you're eating filet mignon and tell me there's no food left. I see what you're eating with those shrimps and that lobster. Get your ass out. Like what? So when it comes to this year, and we all knew before this, and I thought this prior to the deal that came out yesterday, as you said, with ABC, Disney, and with Amazon. I've been thinking this: why are we letting them off the hook with saying the cap has to be so low when we know they got a running lottery ticket all the damn time because it's the NFL? That alone is ridiculous. Now going to the Bears, the problem with that, Shawn, is how many people let great quarterbacks go to free agency? So you're still in a situation you will have to trade crazy draft capital to hope you can get that guy. So let's just say Russell Wilson at 35? You know, like, and you're going to give up 3 years of draft picks. Yeah, it's gonna be nice, but the problem is with that, who's deciding the talent that you're signing that money to? We don't have that person here.
We should make sure. I could think we could. I know what I don't. I was gonna say we can be assured that Pace ain't gonna be the dude, but he might still be the dude making that decision.
Because
he shouldn't be. He shouldn't be.
To me, let me say this. This tells me they know they have this year and next year. All right, how they move. It's like you know. I saw a clip this morning. I think it was this morning, where Young Buck was saying that all this time that 50 Cent has been bashing him. It's been a setup that 50 put in and told him, "I'm gonna make them hate you, and then you gonna make them love you, and then that's gonna make them love us," right? And he was like, 50 told me to go out and say it. I'm using that analogy to say this. I feel like they know they have another year. You know, like they'll tell us like, "Oh no, these guys, we're gonna see this year they have to do it." I feel like they know they have another year because, man, it's wild bananas what's taking place with the Bears. Yesterday was a watershed moment here for the Bears. Like the Andy Dalton thing was one thing, right? It was bad enough. You signed Andy Dalton and bringing back the fact that you could have signed Andy Dalton. Basically, if the bringing from the back that you could have signed Andy Dalton last year to a third of what he's getting paid. Like, what did he do in Dallas to get him to back up to $10 million? Like you're like, yeah, you gave up a 4th round pick for Nick Foles. Fourth is a good pick. All right, that's not one of those like, yeah, that's nothing or whatever. Yeah, you get around the 6th, maybe a 5th. But a 4th, you can still find something in the 4th. You gave up a 4th to take on Nick Foles' contract. All right. You traded that to take on. And then again, you go and you could have signed Andy Dalton off the street. And you do this. You don't know what you're doing altogether to a certain degree.
And you still have Foles on a contract and you're bringing Dalton. Like, here, We'll give you more money. We'll give you 3 times as much money as you made last year. Okay. And you're still going to have you're going to be, you're the starter, okay? You're the wink starter, because as soon as he struggles, he's gonna get pulled. But for Nick Foles. But yeah, this is horrible, and I don't know what side team I'm gonna pick. Maybe I'm gonna go back to my 49ers because I was always a Niners fan because of Roger Craig and Joe Montana.
Yeah, of course. I'm a Steve Young 49ers guy.
Okay.
All right. I'm Steve, but the 49ers, I feel like in Chicago, and also because Eddie DeBartolo could have had the team at one point. But and I used to love me some Eddie DeBartolo.
Me too, boy. Me too.
So it was Joe, but I felt I was due to my youth at the time. I'm more of a Steve Young guy, even though Joe's better than Steve. I'm a Steve Young guy.
And Roger played with both of those guys. But you know what?
Right.
I'm an Eddie DeBartolo guy because he took it to another level that the NFL teams, he was ahead of his time, where now they flew first class. They stayed in 4 or 5-star hotels. He was a businessman. He's a big, huge real estate guy from Youngstown, Ohio. And what he did was a business move. You reinvest into your business. And the business was the 49ers. He reinvested. They flew first class. It is top of the line thing. And then the best thing was they hung out with Huey Lewis in the news. So you got athletes hanging out with rock stars and rock stars hanging out with athletes. You know what I mean? And
it's bad business when you put rock star and Huey Lewis in the news together, but it's facts. I need a new drug. Like I could do a couple of like those people. Huey Lewis was huge, man. He was big business back in the day.
He was, and I'll tell you, I loved Huey Lewis in the news, and I finally saw him for the first time 3 years ago in concert at Summerfest up in Milwaukee. I was so happy. John said ownership won't step in until the fans do something drastic because it's all about the dollar in their pocket. And the after the season press just said it all. Yeah, you're right. But you know what? They get a check. And so their check might have been a little smaller. Because going into the 20 season, I want to say they got to check because if you guys, NFL is a not-for-profit organization. I don't know if you guys knew that. So for those of you who don't know, which means the NFL doesn't have technically money. It's dispersed all to the owners, so all 32 owners. Okay, they keep money for administrative costs and everything else, but they got to pay. But at the end of the year, it goes to the owners. The owner, I want to say before the 20 season, that the owners got a check for like $277 million. And that was more than the salary cap at the time. So I think it might have been 19. $277 million. You got money. You guys got money.
But how many McCaskies are you splitting that up with? Because see, that's another thing we don't talk about anymore. It's a ton of them, and this isn't like Arthur. What's the owner of
Mother Blank?
Yeah, Arthur Blank. You're not Home Depot. You know what I'm saying? Like you don't have some. This is like this is the polar opposite of if like Jeff Bezos owned our team and he's like, yeah, I could spend as much money because Amazon. This is what they make money on, and they don't even own the stadium that they play in, right?
Yep.
So even that compared to other owners, like Jerry Jones can sit there and be like, yeah, I'm gonna take this. I'm gonna put that reinvest that in the team. They got to pay. Look, we talking about McCaskies. They got to pay houses. There's still some houses out there. Like just the breakdown of how many people have to get their cut of that is part of the issue here. You know what I'm saying? As far as why they're hamstrung. And that's not to say that they're still not. They may not be cheap, but we're just in a dire situation. And John is right. And listen, I don't want them to because make sure you check out the Under Center podcast. But dude, we gotta boycott this team. Like it's just facts, and it's ridiculous. They haven't had a quarterback, and again, my father's lifetime, and my father would have been in his 70s by now, I think. Dude, they haven't had a Cleveland has at least had Otto Graham, Kosar, Testaverde, and you can even say right now that they got Baker Mayfield. All right. Like, I mean, and I'm not saying these guys are like, well, Otto Graham was a world beater, but I'm not saying these guys are world beaters, but you can name guys that may end up and have a chance to get into the Hall of Fame. That's Cleveland.
Kevin,
we're Chicago.
Kenneth, are we the Cleveland Browns? Is that what you're saying?
We're the we're sexy with it. You know what I'm saying? So it's like, oh yeah. So Russell Wilson come here because we're sexy, but what does he really want to do? Because does he really want to win? Because if you come here, brother, it's gonna be some years before we can get out of this NBA hell, as Terry Boards would say on Boards and Bernstein. It's gonna be some years before we can get out of that hell because all the draft picks are gonna be gone, and you're gonna be making all the money until 2023, basically. Yeah. So it's just. And listen, the fact that we're in this situation, dude, there's so many franchises. The Cowboys haven't won since the 90s. They're in a better situation than the Bears. Listen, the Raiders, as far as how long they've been bad, they're in a better situation than the Bears. Just 2 years ago, the Tampa Bay Bucks, and you were looking like, damn, what's going to happen to the Bucks? But if you even look at where they were 2 years ago, they were better than the Bears. The Bears sat there and had one thing going for them that was declining the defense and decided to screw that up too. This is ridiculous, to say the least. And we sit here and take it to the face. And that's the worst part. We're going to all sit there on Sundays and come in and watch this trash. Dude, to the face, right?
Yes, in the face.
Come on, man. In the face. It's like Deshaun Watson had us come over, told us he just wanted a massage when we came over, and then all hell broke loose. I didn't say that. You said but I was leading in that direction. But like,
I'm talking about for the Prince of Zamunda.
I know, dude. This is
great
bad business.
It is, man. It really, really is, dude. Hey, great stuff, man. I appreciate it. Do me a favor, though. Let everyone know where they can find you and your work online.
Make sure you check out That Davis Show, the Under Center podcast, and Flipping Friends. You can follow me at That's Davis. I just used all my Bears vitriol on here, man. I got to make sure that Under Center gets enough of this pub because I'm hot, and I didn't get a chance last night to go into it because I was on Josh's show. Tony hit me to drop something, but this is sad. This is a sad state of affairs, man, and we shouldn't sit for it. And if we make enough noise, because I'll say this real quick. And we were talking about this when the Bears were on that 6-game losing streak. Enough noise was being made. Now, I brought this to you and Ivan. When you started seeing them on ESPN on Monday mornings being one of the topics, that's when you knew that their asses were like, oh, snap. Mm-hmm. We got to keep that same heat on them because if they think, oh, yeah, they can lay in the weeds, then they're going to let this fuckery continue, and we can't allow this to continue to go on.
Yep. And the more negative press that they get, we have to, get that negative press out there because that's the only way they're going to do stuff. It's just they want to go, and that you made a great point, Ken. That this is their business, this is their life. This is what all the other owners have. They've made their billions and then bought a team. They just inherited a team. They didn't even buy it. They inherited.
You don't even see that anymore. I saw Jalen Rose say this real quick on Jalen and Jacoby. He was like, it's hard to get into ownership groups because usually it's in the family. No. When we were kids, it was in the family. Most of these teams have been brought up by billionaires now, and it's an entirely different game. Most of these, and a lot of times back in the days, due to the death tax, the families had to give up the team. That's how Washington ended up being sold back in the days. And I know through the politics now that death tax isn't as heinous as what it was before. But no, these are billionaires, and you're dealing with this mom and pop family that don't know what they're doing. Their father knew to a certain extent, because let's not act like he was winning Super Bowls. He was winning championships, but he wasn't winning Super Bowls. But your father knew football. Clearly, he was one of the main men that made the NFL. And I'm not even a person that's like, you need to know, but you need to have somebody working for you that does.
Exactly. Yep. Exactly. Dude, Ken, great stuff, man. Dude, phenomenal. Yeah, you enjoy this weekend. Any big plans? Any Rona stuff? Any Rona plans this weekend?
Yes. Last weekend, I was wrong. I thought my niece was supposed to come over. Her mother's going to Atlanta. We knew she was flying somewhere, but she has taken both shots, Shawn, just so you know, the mother.
Okay.
But my niece is coming over this weekend. So just hanging out with the family, have my niece coming over and just chilling and, eating good food or whatever, even though now that everything's opened up, Uber Eats does not provide the same value that it did a month ago.
You're going to catch you're going to go dancing in the tournament this week? Starts today? I mean, started yesterday, but
sure. I just filled out my bracket this morning.
Okay.
Just because I want to win, I didn't choose Illinois to win it all, but I have them in the championship game. I'm just trying to win because I figure homers are going to pick Illinois, and I'm trying to get to that bread. So I was like, okay, Jalen Suggs, let's go.
Hey, great stuff, man. We will see you on Monday. Thanks.
I'll see you on Monday. You guys have a good one.
All right. Guys, I'm Kenneth Davis from the NBC Sports Chicago Under Center podcast, and also his other show, that Davis Show. Great stuff, man. That's what I wanted him on because he's good, and I love his perspective, and he was a very loyal Bear follower to a certain extent. And like I said, I think I'm gonna have to go back to my Niners. Because man,
I think I'm going with Maserati. I think I'm gonna go take my talents to Buffalo.
Buffalo, Maserati Mitch.
Yeah.
Hey, I ain't mad at you. That's a good team. Listen, we gotta take a quick break, and then on the other side of the break, all right, we have more sports conversations. So don't go anywhere, folks. Keep it locked right here. Shawn and Maya on SportsZone Chicago.
Yo, no. Oh, Billy Boy, this is Ghana. You, my friend, are shooting for the Sudan. Huh? Yeah. And a hook shot. Don't look at me. Look, it's their court, it's their rules. You're on your own. Come on with it. You want to punt it up there? Can I use my right arm? Get free shit on. Yeah, why don't you punt it? Get the
AutomotiveMap.com presents the Sports Flash on 1330 and 95.9 The Zone. The NCAA men's basketball tournament is underway. First round action today. Illinois squares off with Drexel, 12:15 Central tip. 3 Central tip off today. Loyola battles Georgia Tech. The Blackhawks dropped a 4-2 decision last night at Tampa. Each team scored twice in the first period. Tampa with 2 in the third. Matthias Janmark and Dylan Strome with the goals for Chicago. 19 saves in net for Kevin Lankinen. 3 Central puck drop tomorrow at Tampa. The Bulls visit the Nuggets tonight. Chicago's 9th in the Eastern Conference. 9 games out of first place. Coming off a 106-99 home loss against San Antonio Wednesday. Seahawks head coach Pete Carroll reportedly nixed the trade that would have sent Russell Wilson to Chicago. Spring training on Thursday, the Cubs 4-3 over Cleveland. The White Sox beat Kansas City 9-7.
Hi, I'm Brooke Burke, and I have a question for you. Do you ever consider just how important your feet are? They're quite literally the foundation of your body. And if you don't take care of them, you're asking for problems. That's why I wear Skechers' new Arch Fit shoes. Skechers teamed up with podiatrists to make a shoe that provides total foot and arch support. They used 20 years of data to design a podiatrist-certified insole that distributes support across the arch, no matter what foot type you have. Plus, Skechers Arch Fit provides extreme comfort. In fact, these just might be the most comfortable Skechers I've ever worn. Whether I'm walking or standing, they feel like a dream. Just try them on and you'll feel the instant difference. So if foot care is as important to you as it is to me, check out Skechers Arch Fit. They're podiatrist certified, they're comfortable, and they look great. Because when it comes to preserving my body, I know Skechers has my back and my feet. Get the support you need with Skechers' new Arch Fit at a Skechers store near you, Skechers.com, or wherever stylish shoes are sold.
Welcome back to Shawn and Maya in the morning on SportsZone Chicago. Man, we had we just got done with I don't even know why.
What's going on?
So I completely forgot. So you know what? I got confused. Okay. Because like Wednesday, we only had Ken on for the half because we wanted to talk Bears with him.
Mm-hmm.
But I kicked him off. I was like, yeah, we got Ken. Thanks for coming on. I'm like, wait a minute, Ken.
You're supposed to be
here till 11. What am I thinking? I'm trying to get out there. I'm trying to get full of Rona, and that's
you're like, all right, Ken, let's go.
Get him off so he can go, so he can get the show over with. I can get out and get the Rona. The hell, Bobby? He's coming back. He's gonna be back. Oh my goodness.
That's hilarious. Can't get out of here. I gotta go.
Yeah, he's gonna pop on. He's gonna pop back on in a second. Oh, dude, that's crazy. But
all right, we get Ken for some more time, so that's good. That's a plus.
Yeah, because I wanted to talk NCAA hoops with him. I'm like, what the happens to the best of us. Yeah, so it's just let's switch. We'll talk NCAA hoops. So, Kenneth talked about the he's not picking Illinois in the championship because there's going to be a lot of people who picked them to win the title. Illinois has a great shot, a great chance. One of the top teams in the conference. They're one of the 4 number 1 seeds. And this team is good, man. This team is real good. I was watching a little bit yesterday. I hung out with a buddy of mine from high school yesterday out in Brookfield at this new place. Nice place. Sebastian's. Cheap plug for them. But it got me thinking, like, can they hoist the trophy at the end? Can they? There's a lot of firsts. Io DeSumo, he was the first, and this is tough. The first team All-American Illinois has ever had.
That's crazy.
I mean, you would think back in the 2005, you would think back Darren, in the 89, or there, and no first team All-Americans.
Right.
That's insane. So I don't even know. Hey, Ken, my bad, dude. I was like, why is Ken? I'm like, I was trying to hurry up, get the show over so I can go get the Rona. Like, let's just get the show over with. It's Rona time. Let's get out there in the streets.
What are you doing this weekend? Thank you, since you bring that up. What are your plans?
A friend of mine having a birthday party. So all full of the Rona.
Wow. Ivan, what have you done? What precarious situations have you placed yourself in during this pandemic?
Well, I play softball. Like, they got a dome up in Rosemount, so I play softball here and there. I mean, they have masks, but it's like, I mean, they put it on there, but it's almost like if you're in the outfield, you kind of just breathe some air real quick. But just that, I mean, I've been to 1 or 2 bars in the recent weeks, just seeing it out because there's supposed to be some distancing. But I haven't been doing too much, just sitting here and just chopping up stuff for Shawn.
The wildest thing I did was I went to my niece's birthday party. We went to my niece's birthday party, and we were letting our kids go, but we ended up staying since we had to pick them up. We wore masks, but that was probably the craziest. No, I did something wilder. Actually, I went out with some slightly nefarious characters from my youth, fishing. And some of the I broke all types of Rona rules on that. That was early. Just that one was, and we was outdoors, but still that one was. It got so crazy. I went to a gas station. I didn't have a mask on. It didn't hit me. I was like, I don't even have a mask on. Right? It was just I was living like everything was regular. So that was probably that one, and going to a birthday party have been my biggest offenses. But outside of that, I've been trying to do my best not to die.
You're living like you live in Texas to Florida. We don't need masks over here. Rona doesn't exist down here.
Or Atlanta, you know what I'm saying? The home of Black Rona. Some places have been just open. Listen, when you think about spring break, let's be honest, why Texas is open. Because I don't know why Mississippi is open. Because if you spring break in Mississippi, something is wrong with you. But Texas is open because they're like, man, it's about to be spring break and we want those dollars.
Mm-hmm.
All right.
Mm-hmm.
And so, I mean, and Atlanta never shut down either. So I'm not just going red with this. I'm going blue with it too. All right. Atlanta didn't shut down either because they want those dollars. But
cash rules everything around.
And the crazy thing is this, right? And I mean, I get on here and I mean, I have I think about the vaccine and think about, putting this space age whatever into my body. And I know you say no. And listen, the crazy thing is I got old lady hooked me up with this site where it's like, all right, because where we moved into the group we moved. But then after I went to this site, the University of Chicago hit me like, hey, buddy, you won a lottery. You can get your shot. And I'm like, oh, slow down. Right. And also, I'm gonna pick my vaccine too. Because I'll tell you this lets you know about being wrong about something. I was the person that was like, you know what? I like my ish foreign. I want the AstraZeneca. This was like 2 months ago. Then you start seeing all the AstraZeneca stuff, and I was like, "Whoa!" Now, right?
One dude drew a tail. Another dude drew a second thumb.
Approach me with the Astra, and I was like, let me get that old joint the way that it used to go, as far as how it's administered to you and how it invades your body. But now give me that space age joint. Because listen, and again, I understand the concerns as far as why not, you know what I'm saying? Especially when you're talking about minorities, in particular, Black people, with the things that have taken place in the past when it comes to the medical hospitals and medicine and Black people and experimentation. But yeah, when you see white people are getting it though, Shawn, so it's good to go.
Dude, everything's done. Everything's done by zip code, bro.
I'm gonna get mine out there. I'm gonna get mine out there with
Shawn. You better go to Naperville.
I know y'all getting that exactly. I know y'all getting that good batch.
You come out here to Orland Park, okay?
I'm not getting the black batch. Say no's to the south side.
We've already have it marked off. Everything's red line.
Exactly.
You got to chuck that bird off. You got to chuck that bird off to the other side.
Told you, the lines are already drawn up. Just stay inside the red lines. This one goes inside the red lines. Everything else goes to these people. But I digress. So we were talking about the NCAA tournament, and I was watching it yesterday, and I'm excited for it, man. I'm really excited for Illinois. I'm excited for Michigan. Even though they are in the Big Ten and a big competition, they're run by our boy, Southside boy himself, Juwan Howard, who was part of the Fab Five. And
who created the 5-5? Who created the 5-5? He was the guy that said, "Let's all go to Michigan because we'll." Yeah, so put some respect on his name. It wouldn't be a 5-5 without Juwan Howard, CBS's very own.
Juke and Juwan Howard, man. So, and I've never.
Full on. That's a hard cabbage patch right there. That's a hard cabbage patch.
The hard. You know what? If you're fortunate enough to have seen that, like they revolutionized college basketball. All right. UNLV was good, but like grandmama, like Larry Johnson wasn't that flamboyant. He's just gonna dunk on you and punch you in the face. You know what I mean? But these guys, they dunk down you, they talk shit, they're probably they're high fiving. They got quadruple extra large shorts. They're the
skill. They're skilled. Think about it.
Skilled.
Juwan Howard played small forward at Washington when he got drafted. You know how skilled Chris Webber is. Jalen Rose was another one of those wannabe Magic Johnson guys like Steve Smith out of Michigan. Uber talent. These were, when you talk about, I'm just not giving superlatives. When you talk about like European style players, just those three. I'm not talking about Jimmy King and Ray Jackson. you're talking about just uber because you brought up like grandmama, who also was another guy at that time that was a quote unquote big, even though he was undersized.
He was a man, dude. He had to be 26 at UNLV. Dude.
Exactly. He was grown playing with kids, but like uber, like, but the style, the baggy shorts, the black socks, the ball heads. You know what I'm saying? Like they brought hip
hop.
Yes,
hip hop.
Trendsetters.
That's when hip hop was really starting to take off.
Yeah,
in the early 90s.
I wanted them to win one. I picked them. I picked them to win. I think I was a freshman in high school. I had them winning over Lynch in North Carolina, and when they won, I was like, I should have known not to pick against Michael Jordan's team. But I had them in the timeout, the travel. And it was funny thing that always followed Chris. Like Chris Webber really never got over that. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Like if you like, that always kind of like how the free throws hurt Nick Anderson in the finals versus Houston, and he never was Nick Anderson again.
Yeah,
you know what I'm saying? Even though now Chris Webber's a Hall of Famer, he should be in the Basketball Hall of Fame. But if that didn't happen, he would have been even greater in the NBA than that, because that always kind of hung over him. That just to that collapse in that way. But yeah,
the haters really took it to another level.
Oh yeah, always. But listen. Looking at like I said, I'm rooting for the Illini. If they I'd say they win it all. It's my favorite Illini team of all time. But I'm rooting for them. I'm rooting for Michigan. Look out for Ohio State. The Big Ten is so strong, and I'm not even usually the Big Ten guy, but the Big Ten is so effing strong this year. You know what I'm saying? That it wouldn't surprise me to get 2 or 3 of these teams in the Final Four. You know what I'm saying?
They've taken the torch. They've taken a torch from the ACC. The ACC was basketball hotbed for a long time, and in the last few years, I think the torch has definitely and clearly been passed to the Big Ten. The Big Ten basketball is just superior, far superior to any other conference, and it's not even close. The way SEC football is far superior than any other conference in the country. Big Ten basketball now has taken that mantle, and they're the number 1 team. I mean, you got Illinois, and you have 2 number 1 seeds. You got Illinois, and you have Michigan. But let's not forget Ohio State. They're a number 2 seed as well. You have Iowa. They're a number 2 seed as well. We got 2 number 1s and 2 number 2s in a tournament. That's a nice day. That's a nice year for any conference. But the thing about it is the Big Ten are going to do this on a consistent basis. You know, one of the things that I was really hoping for the recruiting to really pick up in Illinois, because I really want Chicago kids, man. I really want Chicago area kids down in Illinois, making noise. There's just too many. Think of all the kids that left to go elsewhere, man. That's you're right.
And that's why I'm still more of a Northwestern guy, because they want to be this southern contingent of the state, even though they're not southern, but that everyone except Chicago when it comes to Champaign-Urbana. And if they embrace the city more, as they should, because most of the time when they've had success, it's done because you've had kids from the city, from football to basketball, and just like instead of culturally making it a us or them thing, it's ridiculous. You have a hotbed right here. All right, I don't know, and it goes deep into their culture, because clearly it must go into their boosters, because they don't spend money up here. But it makes like you should be pillaging the public league. Like, I mean, not even that. You should be pillaging the Catholic. Like, you should always have Chicago kids on your team. It should be a prerequisite that you should do that. And then you look
75%.
Yeah, but you look at what they did to Collins. Yeah, you look at what they did to Collins and not giving him the job. That's when you fractured the relationship.
Big time.
You know what I'm saying? Acting like, it was him, right? No, it was y'all. Yeah, it was y'all. All right.
Yeah.
And just accept it, but don't let Bruce Pearl wreck what's going on, and F Bruce Pearl for life. But you don't let him. I mean, it'd be different if Bruce Pearl was pious, but he's a cheater himself. Like, that's snitching. When you're a criminal and you tell on other criminals, you're a snitch. When you're a regular person and you tell on a criminal, you're doing what you're supposed to do. But Bruce Pearl is a snitch. So you're going to sit there and let him fracture the relationship to the city. And it's been 35 odd years, dude. Like, it makes no sense that they're not getting regular kids from CPS all the time, man. And that's on them. Like, these kids need money over here too. You know what I'm saying? Where's your bags, your boxes, your shoe boxes full of cash, man? Like, come on now, step up. You know what I'm saying? But see, this goes to another thing. In this state and in this city, we let these organizations, ownerships or whatever, take advantage of us. All right. We do it all the time. Look at DePaul. Doesn't make any sense. DePaul is where DePaul is at. You know what I'm saying? Like, we know what DePaul used to be before I was born, basically. Listen, DePaul was so strong that by 1989, 1990, I used to have to watch Kleinschmidt on Channel 9 because of the contract they had with WGN. And I'm like, why are the Bulls not on here? Because DePaul used to be, before I was sports conscious, a juggernaut, basically, like a old school Hoyas Big Ten type. Big East, thank you, Big East type. Like it's, and we sit here and we take it to the face. And see, I'm mad at you, Shawn.
To the face.
I'm mad at
you. Yes.
If Under Center podcast is average this week, I'm gonna blame you because you're getting all my heat. You're getting all my heat today. Now this is what's Tony Gill. Yeah, but we sit here and we allow these teams. We and it's just like, okay, I guess I'm still gonna watch, and it's like, okay, thank you, and I'm gonna still take your money, and it's ridiculous. And we did, from college to the professional sports here, we allow them to make it seem like we're a small market, and we're not a small market.
All right. Hey, we got to take a break now. Hey, I appreciate you coming back, boss. I don't know why I did it.
No problem.
I was trying to get out there and get that Rona. Get all that Rona.
Hey, Italian Shawn was trying to escape.
Italian Shawn was trying to get him some Listen, Ivan, he was trying to get his NDAs together. He's like, man, I gotta rework my NDAs. Italian Shawn.
Hey, che cosa, che cosa.
Ivan, he said that's why he had to leave. Man, once they did the quarterback like that, I realized I had to leave. Like,
I was like, really? All this started happening around the same
time. That was 1 and 2. That was the 1 and 2. When they did the quarterback like that, I realized, okay, Shawn.
Oh man, my cheeks hurt.
I feel like Shawn had his suitcase under his arm with some of the clothes sticking out, heave-hoing and running his ass to the border because
he's got his hat on.
Exactly. All right, guys.
Hey, both of you, shut up. Hey, we got to take a break, man. Great stuff, man, with Kenneth. We got to take a break, and we're going to switch gears and talk a little more Bears with our guy, the man, the myth, the legend, DDP himself, the draft doctor, my guy. Up next, Phil Toshin. Don't go anywhere, folks. He's from the Tape Never Lies Network. It's going to be awesome. If you thought we're just going to continue with the hype, with the energy, with the fire, man, if you want more and you want to bash the Bears a little more, I'm ready. I'm ready to bring the fire. I'm ready. I'm here to bring the pain hardcore from the brain. For those of you who know what I'm talking about, I'm here, little Method Man, METHOD man. All right, we got to go. Anyway, stay right here. Phil Toshin coming up next. Shawn and Maya on SportsZone Chicago.
Hey, this is Gary Payton, and we listen to Shawn and Maya in the morning. Do that.
AutomotiveMap.com presents the Sports Flash on 1330 and 95.9 The Zone. The NCAA men's basketball tournament is underway. First round action today. Illinois squares off with Drexel, 12:15 Central tip. 3 Central tip off today. Loyola battles Georgia Tech. The Blackhawks dropped a 4-2 decision last night at Tampa. Each team scored twice in the first period. Tampa with 2 in the third. Matthias Janmark and Dylan Strome with the goals for Chicago. 19 saves in net for Kevin Lankinen. 3 Central puck drop tomorrow at Tampa. The Bulls visit the Nuggets tonight. Chicago's 9th in the Eastern Conference. 9 games out of first place. Coming off a 106-99 home loss against San Antonio Wednesday. Seahawks head coach Pete Carroll reportedly nixed the trade that would have sent Russell Wilson to Chicago. Spring training on Thursday, the Cubs 4-3 over Cleveland. The White Sox beat Kansas City 9-7.
Hi, I'm Brooke Burke, and I have a question for you. Do you ever consider just how important your feet are? They're quite literally the foundation of your body. And if you don't take care of them, you're asking for problems. That's why I wear Skechers' new Arch Fit shoes. Skechers teamed up with podiatrists to make a shoe that provides total foot and arch support. They used 20 years of data to design a podiatrist-certified insole that distributes support across the arch, no matter what foot type you have. Plus, Skechers Arch Fit provides extreme comfort. In fact, these just might be the most comfortable Skechers I've ever worn. Whether I'm walking or standing, they feel like a dream. Just try them on and you'll feel the instant instant difference. So if foot care is as important to you as it is to me, check out Skechers Arch Fit. They're podiatrist certified, they're comfortable, and they look great. Because when it comes to preserving my body, I know Skechers has my back and my feet. Get the support you need with Skechers new Arch Fit at a Skechers store near you, Skechers.com, or wherever stylish shoes are sold.
So why don't you use the regular army? What do you need us for?
Because some damn fool accused you of being the best.
Dylan! You son of a...
Friends, how many of us have them? Friends, ones we can depend on. Friends.
Welcome back to Shawn and Maya in the morning on SportsZone Chicago on this TGI Mickey Ficky Friday. It's the weekend, baby. Listen, I want to tell you something. If you're watching this on Facebook Live, again, thank you very much. If you're watching this on our YouTube channel, thank you very much. We also want you to download the app. Make sure you download the app wherever you get your apps from. Please download SportsZone Chicago. This way you can take us with you on the go, wherever it is you want to go. You can catch one of our 5 live shows. We have actually 5 different shows. You know, this show's live 3 days a week. But then all the podcasts that we have. So make sure you check it out. The podcast and the articles that we have written. There's just a lot for you to check out on SportsZone Chicago. So make sure you go wherever you get your apps from. Download SportsZone Chicago. Well, listen, my next guest, that's my guy. And I love what Ivan did for that. That's awesome. That's pretty cool. But I just want to know why Phil's arm is bigger than mine. Like he's just that's crazy. But anyway, it's our guy. He runs the Tape Never Lies Network, man. He's a man, the myth, the legend. And he is a football guy from Hofstra, out east. And you know what he does over there is awesome. And I love it. Make sure you check him out on the Tape Never Lies network. You can find him on Instagram. Remember, he's not much of a Twitter guy, but he's an IG guy. So you follow him on Instagram at Phil_Toshin. Guys, let's welcome out our boy, my guy, my brother from another mother, Phil Toshin. Phil, what's up, Papa? How are you?
What's up, Shawn?
How you doing?
I just felt like I wanted to finish the lyrics in there. Friends is a word we use every day. Sometimes.
That's why we vibe, dude.
Throws it back.
That's why we vibe, because hip hop, like we both love hip hop.
Oh man,
because we both love hip hop, dude. That's why we vibe so well.
That's
dude.
it. I mean, I've said it I ranted on my show how important football and hip hop were to who I am as a father, a man, a coach, a teacher. It's incredible. And now we have my boy Cool Kennedy, the music director on our network, producing original music only on our shows. We have a song, Shawn, me and Cool Kennedy dropping bars on it about the Blog Boys. It is going to be must listen, must see, download. I'm telling you, my wife, a song is good when your wife is singing it in the car, the hook. Like, I can't get this out of my head. I go,
check out the hook while the DJ revolves it.
That's all. Boom, 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 boom. You're the only thing that's made me smile in the last 48 hours, man. So last night I went on a crazy rant. I was on Shy City Sports Bearfront podcast, and I just let all of the emotions and frustrations out, Shawn. And it's unfortunate for Bears fans and people that love the game of football that, Shawn, you had, 3 months. You knew the situation with COVID. You knew that you were going to convince Millhouse that you were going to stay on the job.
That's hilarious.
Right? So now the collaboration and George completely overwhelmed. You don't have a plan for 2 key pieces to your defense, fully knowing that you got to get the quarterback position right. You knew that the NFL, and I'm going to say it, the collusion that these owners took part in to know that this TV deal, $110 billion.
113.
won $13 billion, Shawn. The exact bill. $113 billion. And you, for the first time in the last, 19 or 20 years, you lowered the cap. And now you, as a GM, have a job to do to keep those pillar pieces on the roster. Now you're possibly trading or cutting the collaborative effort of Kyle Fuller. Exactly. You're telling Akeem Hicks to seek a trade, and you sign Andy Dalton at the same time you're telling your best corner, probably top 2, top 3 corner in the league, who's worked here, grew up here, turned his career around, as you have talked about many times. Fangio put him on Front Street. He became a better learner, better studier, better performer of the game. Now you're putting those guys on the street. To me, it's criminal. All of this stuff is criminal, but to not have a plan, not to go to Kyle Fuller. I can understand Akeem, especially with the injuries and you playing down low in there, but you got a corner that's clearly the leader of your defensive secondary. You can't allow that to get out of there. I get the $20 million. You need to go to that guy and say, listen, next year our cap is going to be triple. We're caught in this situation. You're totally transparent to this football player. We need you here. Eddie Jackson's a POS. He's immature. We need a leader in our secondary as we transition, Shawn, to
and you lead by example. Exactly. And you lead by example. That's what a DC wants. He wants a guy.
Exactly.
Eddie Jackson's not coming over. He's not coming over to give you a shoulder and detach you from the ball. That's Kyle Fuller. Kyle Fuller's going to knock you, separate you from the ball. He's the ball. In my Howard Finkel voice, making his way to the ring. He is the ball separator. So to getting rid of him, Phil, is horrible. It's really scaring me about this team, and I'm really, really scared that I'm going to have to go back to a side team, which is the San Francisco 49ers, because I was a big Niner fan back in the 80s with Craig and Montana and Rice and even Dwight Clark and Jonathan Taylor and dude, I'm telling you, I was a huge Niner fan. I was a big Roger Craig fan. One of the reasons I wore 33 in my career, so I might have to go and step out on the Bears a little this season or the next season. That's with the Niners.
I'm telling fans, don't buy tickets. I know our guy, Mike Halitek, you don't want to hear that. But the reality is don't buy tickets, because that's the only – don't go to the game. If your cousin or Sammy the Bull gives you tickets, then yeah, go to the game. Enjoy it. I'm not saying that. I'm saying don't show them the money, as the great Tom Cruise said and Jerry Maguire. Mm-hmm. Don't show them. Show them an empty stadium, that it's not going to be tolerated. The plan, and it starts with Ted, the collaboration. I'm livid. I've never been so disappointed as a fan, because there wasn't a plan. There wasn't a plan. There was no understanding of this cap and how they're going to do it. Now, listen, the cards are on the table. Russell Wilson, as Shane and I said last night, that is not off the table.
No.
Yeah.
No. I talked about it today, Phil.
Oh, did you? Okay.
Yeah. So
I've been homeschooling, Shawn. That's what I've been doing all morning.
The Seahawks, they would eat $39 million if they released him before June 1st. So that was never, just from a business sense. Yeah, you can be a meathead Bear fan, but let me tell you, and this is from today. It was yesterday's paper. Patrick Finley on the Bears beat on the Chicago Sun-Times. You could be the biggest meathead Bear fan you want and say, Russell Wilson. They're not going to have a $39 million cap hit for a guy who's not there. Period. Right. Okay, you're mad. You don't want to pay an extra $100 for premium service. You don't want to get mushrooms on your pizza because it's an extra $7. Okay, says you're bitching. Do you think a team wants to pay
are expensive, Shawn?
$39 million for a guy who's not even there? No, they're going to wait till June 1st. So that is still not off the table. So that's why I haven't really gone and blown up I'm mad. I'm really pissed. But if they go and still get Russell, if they get Russell Wilson after June 1st,
Yeah.
it would appease some of my anger and my vitriol toward the organization. Just who else you're going to get? Who else you're going to get rid of? And that's the only question, because you got rid of Fuller. You told Akeem Hicks to go. Who else are you going to get rid of? Who are we going to have at cornerback? Who's the other cornerback? You got rid of Buster Screen. So who else do you have at cornerback? I don't know.
They got this kid, Trey Roberson, who was in the Canadian
Football League. He was one of the best cornerbacks coming out.
I love this kid, and I was so excited, and then he got hurt.
Yeah, last year.
So he's still on the roster, and let me say this. They can put a post-June 1st designation. I think this plan that they have, obviously, their whole direction went to Russell Wilson. Seattle and Coach Pete Carroll slept on it, and he said, no, we're not going to do it now. The offer on the table, I mean, you saw it. 3 first-round picks. We said it. 3 first-round picks we're okay with. 2 starters. Who they were, people are speculating.
There was a pool they gave them, a pool of players they could choose from. In that pool was Mac Johnson, Hicks, and Fuller. That's in that pool.
They couldn't trade Mac. So whoever said that, he can't, only because they just pushed his money forward. It would be impossible based on their cap to trade him. But the other guys, I'm sure Roquan Smith was in it. But again, like I said, you move mountains like Usher to fucking get the quarterback situation right, because it's the one thing that you haven't gotten right.
The thing that they said was, I think in particular, was that they offered them a pack. Like they offered them, here's a player pool. Go ahead and take your pick. And I think that those are the 2 names that were just the most talked about.
So there you go. My boy Ivan popping in. I love it. And he, the situation with Kyle Fuller, Shane just told me prior to coming on the show that he hasn't been cut yet, that they possibly will be trading him. So
they're trying. Yeah.
They're trying. So, I mean, I know the $20 million, that is like a quarterback, and you got to do something. If you're going to that football player, though, think about it as a GM. I can already see you. It would never be like this with me and you. That's why I know how frustrated I am, because I think these guys, these corporate, Ryan Pace is so corporate. He's not connecting with his football blood. You go to that kind of player that's done everything for you, and you're transparent. This is our plan. You've been here forever. You are the type of guy that studies the film, that can play corner, and then as you get to your age, we want to keep you here. You move back to safety because you have that talent to be here for the long haul. But we need a quarterback. So you're totally transparent with this guy that's never caused any problems. He's an all-pro football player. He grew up in the organization. You have to be class. Instead, I'm listening to Dante Jones on our show talk about what Wannstedt and this company did to him back in the 90s, right? Then I'm hearing from my buddy Tim Jennings how they fucking did him in the 2000s with Phil Emery and company. Then I'm hearing how all these players are being told one thing and then another. There's no transparency. There's none of that there. So you don't understand how to talk to the players. You're hyping up this culture that's fighting on the football field. You're trying to get the quarterback fixed. And back to the original point, though, when Ivan came in, I know Pete Carroll likes Andy Dalton. So there's a piece of the puzzle. If you know a coach feels comfortable with that, then as we get closer to the draft, a lot of these shoe salesmen haven't done all their homework on these quarterback prospects. So say the Seattle Seahawks really love Trey Lance. I'm just throwing his name out there. All right. They don't have a first round pick. The Bears do. Trey Lance drops to 12. Bears are like, you love Trey Lance. We're going to trade up. We're going to secure your guy. We're going to give you him and Andy Dalton, the 2 for now. Things change. So that you hope there's hope that these guys can honestly negotiate like a football run organization and not a corporate one. That's the only way you can hope. It has to go through that kind of secure. You saw it. I'm sorry, Shawn. You saw it with Eli Manning and Phillip Rivers. They had a deal. You get this guy, we get that guy, then we got a deal. These things happen all the time. There has to be a plan. They were in Fargo. They gave that initial offer. Obviously, they went there for a reason to try to get this deal worked out. Now it's Andy Dalton here. You saw the reporters even ask him, "Are you worried that they're going to draft a football player? I'm the starter." That's his stance right now. But that could change, in my opinion.
And I hope it does. And I hope Ryan Pace is as sneaky and snaky as he has been in the past, and that is a plan that he has. Because if he does, then I will take back some of the vitriol I have toward him because that's a plan. That is an elaborate plan that can't happen until draft day. So if they go up there, now you got your guy in Trey Lance, and you got your starter for 1 year in the Red Rifle. So Trey Lance can sit there for a year, watch, learn, get familiar with the NFL game, and then he starts his second year. Hey, that worked good for Russ. So for Patrick Mahomes, it worked good for quite a few people. And I think that'll work. And I'll take back some of the comments I had for Pace, but definitely not all of them.
Well, I'm saying that they're going to do that for Seattle to get Russ.
Yeah.
Seattle, you know what I'm saying? But
you trade up to the 12, you Trey Lance, and then you get
whoever
Trey
they
Lance,
want,
or whoever the guy
that they
and
say,
Dalton go to
exactly.
Seattle. We get Russ in return. Yes,
and then you've covered that first round pick this year because that's it. You secured the guy that they would have taken. That's how this game is played when you're doing it right. The other thing is you don't know if they like any of these quarterbacks. Again, it's early on in this, and it's a different environment because there's no combine. There's obvious travel restrictions and COVID stuff, so they don't get to sit across the table from everyone. I'm sure they sneak some things, but you hear about what happened with Mahomes and obviously Trubisky at the steakhouse, McMahon, all that bullshit. They had those sit-down meetings that were the difference in why they pick and choose these players. So it's imperative that Seattle, if that's the avenue the Bears and the Seahawks have agreed upon, then this goes down like that. But
hey, Phil, so give me your thoughts then. Allen Robinson signs the franchise, or has agreed to sign the franchise tag, and I guess he must be happy with the Andy Dalton signing, because I think he would have held out until, because he legally and collectively bargained, he can sit out until game 10, I believe, and then he can come back and play and not lose, because if he sits out the whole season, they can retag him again. So but he said he was going to sign it. So give me your thoughts on that, because is he thinking Andy Dalton's going to be the guy throwing the ball? Because let's be real, Andy Dalton's he's not bad. Andy Dalton's a good quarterback. He's not great. I'm not putting him in Canton, but I'm saying you look at what he did in his time in Cincinnati with AJ Green, and they had a nice little combination there. And I think Allen Robinson was finally happy that he's got a quarterback who's been to the Pro Bowl. And I know Mitch is there, but he was only an alternate. I'm talking about Andy Dalton, but still he's got to the playoffs on a consistent basis. Give me your thoughts on Allen Robinson, agreeing to sign the franchise tag.
Well, I think there's two things here. Well, three, since you put Andy Dalton in this milkshake, if you will. The reality, I think reality hit Allen Robinson. The wide receiver market wasn't what they thought it was going to be. So you're looking at other teams signing these players, and it isn't to the extent of what Allen Robinson thought it was. Then the Bears bring Galladay in
from my high school.
Oh yeah, St. Rita's, right?
If you guys didn't know, Shawn went to St. Rita.
And they start tonight. High school football starts tonight in Illinois.
Really?
Yeah,
because it starts in the spring this year.
For this year, Illinois was a team. There's no state adjacent to Chicago that's playing in the spring. They all fall, but Illinois is, and so tonight's game 1 against the number 1 team in the area. We're number 6, 5 in the area.
Check it out. You're gonna go out and check it out.
Mm-hmm.
Nice.
Yeah.
You have to film some of it. Get
Yeah,
some
maybe I will.
highlights of it and put it on your show. I mean, I'm just directing. I'm sorry. No, but I think he saw Galladay come. But the reality of the receiver contracts, if you look at the money, as the smartest man had said, his like, oh shit, I got to get in there, sign this. I'm going to be making 18 million. No one else is making that. And apparently right now I'm getting a note, Shawn. I don't know if you said this already. I might be repeating, but apparently the Bears have offered Galladay 11 to 12 million with the understanding that he would sign a 1-year deal, fully knowing that we're going to take care of you. What I was talking about transparency, I'm getting a note here. Next year, when the cap is raised, tripled of what it is, we're going to take care of you then. But to align you with Allen Robinson, Dalton, and Mooney, now all of a sudden you really have a dynamic wide receiver group that you could build on. So essentially they would be renting Allen Robinson for a year unless they can come up with a long-term deal, which 9 times out of 10, Allen will understand and get it. And then you get Galladay here. So now you got 2-3 legitimate wide receivers, in my opinion. And you're going to trade Anthony Miller. You heard that smoke a little bit. Yeah, you hope that so if they were able to get Galladay, retain Allen Robinson, and pair that with Mooney, you got Cole Kmet. I don't know what they're going to do with Jimmy Graham, but I think they're holding on to him with the hopes that he's friends with Russell Wilson, that trade could possibly happen. But if you're structuring this receiver core like that, that's why I think Allen went in and got it. I think you're right. I'll say this. I've cut almost 45 plays of Andy Dalton just from last season. Barlissimo, who's on the board right there. He's cutting from the 2017-18 of Laser and Dalton together with the Bengals. And then tomorrow, my father and myself are going to be breaking down Andy Dalton on our TTNL All Access, the Patreon channel, to show you. And then I'm going to release on Patreon only, Shawn, Draft Dr. Phil's Tape Never Lies, which will be about 45 minutes of what you know that I do with the Chicago Bears tape, just Andy Dalton, just looking at him, all his skills. And real quick, no spoiler alert, what you said is exactly right. Andy Dalton is more athletic. He's accurate. He understands the RPO game. A lot of the things that we have seen Mitch struggle with, Andy clearly has experience and pre-snap education, football education. It's very evident that he understands where he's going to go. Again, with Dallas, you see a lot of trading or shifting, as some people will call it. And he identifies the coverage, recognizes leverage, gets the ball out. It's going to be really good stuff. If you like X's and O's, if you like film analysis, you should sign up www.thetapeneverlies.com, because we're going to be having all of that. And right there you go. Me and my dad, my pops right there, breaking down Andy Dalton. Look at it's all there. This guy, Ivan, I tell you, I love this guy. He's on the ball. That's exactly. So check that out or sign up. That'll be a patrons only. I know you're in there. So we had you on breaking down these running backs. And I think Andy Dalton helps David Montgomery, because a lot of the things that I saw read-wise in the RPO game, Shawn, where Mitch struggled, Andy really identifies the box very well. He understands that. So not only the quarterback game, especially in Matt Nagy's offense, is so all over the place. You got to be a good ball handler. You got to be a good action and mesh guy. You got to be able to get the ball out quick on these bubble screens. And
so here's a question then with this, and we got to let you go because I got Jason coming up, because we got to talk NCAA. Our Illini is coming up today at right at the end of the show, actually at noon. So now that Laser's got his guy, guy that he's had some success with, is Laser going to be calling the plays, or is Nagy going to have his dirty, grubby little fingers in there? That is going to be the question. Your thoughts?
I think Andy Dalton has a relationship and a trust level with. That's why he's coming here with familiarity. It was told to me that there was 3 other teams that were trying to sign Andy Dalton. And he chose to come here because of his relationship and trust with Bill Lazor. So, but I'm with you. I just don't see Matt Nagy being able to get his grubby, dirty little hands. I shouted you out last night, Shawn.
Did you?
In my rant, I said, like my boy said, the idiot can't help but get those hands. I think he's going to want obvious. He can't help it. He really can't. It's Nagy. Nagy gonna Nagy. Exactly. And that's what you worry about with the guy. But here's the thing. Andy Dalton is an experienced starter. He has a relationship with Lazor on another level of offensive coordinator QB, where remember they kept saying, this is the first time me and Nick, I'm calling plays with Nick. It shouldn't really matter, but you kept hearing it from Nagy. So with this case, this guy's a professional. You're not putting him in Canton, like you said, but he's a solid starter that is going to understand coverages. Does he have his hiccups? Absolutely. I'm going to show you a lot of those, as well as a lot of positives that people are writing narratives or overwriting narratives about the guy that really aren't fair. And I really wanted to say this, yes, Nagy's going to have his hands on it. There's no way around it. We're all going to see it. We're going to know. It's when you don't use David Montgomery as your, identity, we know. I think Bill Lazor even understands that David Montgomery is your best offensive weapon. Matt Nagy has not figured it out. Everyone and their brother knows that. But I want to say this, Bears fans, don't take your ire out on Andy Dalton. Here's a guy coming in here, stepping up in the pocket and trying to do what's best for him. As Shawn would say, I'm not going to hate on another man trying to make and earn $1 and pay for his family. So take your ire out on Pace, Nagy, Ted, and especially George. Because as I went to bed last night, Shawn, real quick, I am so disappointed in George McCaskey, because here you are, the grandson of the guy who created the NFL, who had the dream, and you are so oblivious to football that you have to hire all these outside firms, all these other people to do what it should have been done in your blood, knowing people around the league, trusting your gut, understanding the game of football, the business that your family owns. You've had Ted Phillips around you for 23 years. And I can go down the list of stats of quarterbacks, playoff losses, last place finishes, and disappointment, all under that guy. So George is the biggest problem, just like Michael before him. And it's the reality of us Bears fans to stick together, not let Shawn do something I can't even do. I'm addicted to the Bear. I never could cheer for another team. I can't let you do that. So we just have to stick together and not buy the tickets. Don't buy their swag. Don't get exactly.
Well, here's the thing. I cheered for the Niners because, again, I was a big fan of Roger Craig, big fan of Joe Montana, and later Steve Young, big fan of Eddie DeBartolo Jr. We were talking to Kenneth Davis, big fan of Eddie DeBartolo Jr. And so it's not.
Hey, you brought him up, Eddie DeBartolo, Jerry Jones, right? Do you think these guys would have allowed Nagy and Pace?
No.
To stay?
No.
Exactly, because football.
You can't even get that question out. Like, no.
Exactly.
Football.
Football would be first. Like, wait a second. We missed on 2 generational quarterbacks, and you were the guy picking them. And you paid Mike Glennon $48 million, and you paid Nick Foles and traded him, and you did this. Come on. Yeah. The reality, football's got to come first, not collaboration. You should have fucking collaborated with Shawn, Phil, Shane, and Ivan. That's what you should, and Berlissimo. That would have helped you out. But
hey, Phil, we got to let you go. Hey, thank you so much, buddy.
Absolutely, man.
Let everyone know where they can find you and your work online.
Right there at The Tape Never Lies. Follow us on Twitter at TTNL Network on Twitter. Shane controls the Twitter there, so whatever he says, it's not me. I have no idea. And you can find us on Instagram and right here, www.thetapeneverlies.com. Tomorrow and every Saturday, X's with the O's. Then Draft Mob with Berlissimo, Shane, and myself. On Sunday, we're going to do our first live mock draft for the Chicago Bears this Sunday, live on the Patreon. We're going to involve all of you, and we're going to have big fantasy football news, big show that we're starting on the network as we get closer to the offseason. So follow me on Instagram at Phil_Atoshin right there on the bottom of the screen. And I always respond. Shawn, you're the best.
Papa, I appreciate it.
I love you, man. Ivan, you're
easy, bro.
You're the man, brother. I'm glad I could come on here. I don't know who you're cheering for in the NCAA. Illini?
Yeah, that's our team.
That's your team?
Illini and Loyola, but Loyola for one game.
Yeah, because they're going to meet in the second round. So it's the one.
I remember Kendall Gill and company.
Yeah, Kendall
I used to cheer for the Iowa Hawkeyes when I was.
Oh, Maya would love it. Maya would love you.
BJ Armstrong, Roy Marble, and Ed Horton. And they had what was his name? Big giant center, white dude, corn eating dude. I was like, cheering for them, and they always let me down. They were ranked number 1 at one point with BJ.
Yeah, BJ, yeah.
Roy Marble, Baby Jordan.
Baby Jordan.
Where is Maya? You got Iowa Hawkeyes. I was huge fan.
Yep.
Now I don't watch it anymore.
Great stuff, Papa. We'll be in touch next week, all right?
All right, bro. See you, brother.
All right now. Guys, we got to take a quick. That was Phil Atoshin from the Tape Never Lies Network, and we're going to take a break. And on the other side, we're going to talk a little NCAA hoops, and then get this guy's take on this whole Bear situation. So don't go anywhere, folks. He's our guy, Jason Palmer, coming up next right here on Shawn and Maya on SportsZone Chicago.
Take off the glasses, please. You look familiar. You got a record?
Yes, sir, he's got a record. He's got a great record. The Black Rooster, 13 KOs. Paco Aguilar, El Gallo Negro. He's got a great right upcut.
AutomotiveMap.com presents the Sports Flash on 1330 and 95.9 The Zone. The NCAA men's basketball tournament is underway. First round action today. Illinois squares off with Drexel, 12:15 Central tip. 3 Central tip off today. Loyola battles Georgia Tech. The Blackhawks dropped a 4-2 decision last night at Tampa. Each team scored twice in the first period. Tampa with 2 in the third. Matthias Janmark and Dylan Strome with the goals for Chicago. 19 saves in net for Kevin Lankinen. 3 Central puck drop tomorrow at Tampa. The Bulls visit the Nuggets tonight. Chicago's 9th in the Eastern Conference, 9 games out of first place, coming off a 106-99 home loss against San Antonio Wednesday. Seahawks head coach Pete Carroll reportedly nixed the trade that would have sent Russell Wilson to Chicago. Spring training on Thursday, the Cubs 4-3 over Cleveland. The White Sox beat Kansas City 9-7.
Hi, I'm Brooke Burke, and I have a question for you. Do you ever consider just how important your feet are? They're quite literally the foundation of your body. And if you don't take care of them, you're asking for problems. That's why I wear Skechers' new Arch Fit shoes. Skechers teamed up with podiatrists to make a shoe that provides total foot and arch support. They used 20 years of data to design a podiatrist-certified insole that distributes support across the arch, no matter what foot type you have. Plus, Skechers Arch Fit provides extreme comfort. In fact, these just might be the most comfortable Skechers I've ever worn. Whether I'm walking or standing, they feel like a dream. Just try them on and you'll feel the instant difference. So if foot care is as important to you as it is to me, check out Skechers Arch Fit. They're podiatrist certified, they're comfortable, and they look great. Because when it comes to preserving my body, I know Skechers has my back and my feet. Get the support you need with Skechers' new Arch Fit at a Skechers store near you, Skechers.com, or wherever stylish shoes are sold.
Welcome back to Shawn and Maya in the morning on SportsZone Chicago on this TGI Mickey Ficky Friday. It's the weekend, baby, and I'm fired up. Our Illini play today. St. Rita plays today. Yes, Hey, you know what? I wonder if Kenny Golladay is going to be there. He was in Chicago Wednesday. He was in New York yesterday. I wonder if he's going to come back. If he's made the rounds and going to come back home. Yeah, maybe I'll reach out. But you know what? I'm gonna
You should get an exclusive interview on that, Shawn. If he's there, yeah, kind of drop that Superbag name. Say, hey, Superbag, just drop it on the floor and get right up to the head of the line.
If he's there, I'll do a quick Facebook Live and then I will try and get him on the show. So, that'll be cool. But the next guy, man, he's jack of all trades. He does it all. He's our good friend, and he's co-host of one of the hottest shows here on SportsZone Chicago, and that's the What's Up Cuz show, and it's with him and his cousin Lance C. Irvin. He works for the Chicago Crusader, and I want to get his take on a couple of things. And you can find him on Twitter at @JCoyden. Guys, let's bring him out. Our boy Jason Palmer. Jason, what's up, Papa?
Hey, what's up, man? Watching the NCAA tournament. Got Virginia Tech and Florida on the screen, and Virginia Tech already up 7, which means my bracket could be busted after the first game.
Oh, and you know what? That's the wonderful thing about March Madness is the bracket busting. You're like, one team screws it up for everybody, and that's it's just going to be fun to watch. I was watching some yesterday, the first 4. I watched a little of the UCLA Michigan State game. When I was hanging out with a buddy of mine from high school. So good stuff. Good stuff. So I wanted to squeeze some stuff in there. So give me your thoughts, man. Akeem Hicks, you're allowed to go look for a trade. Kyle Fuller, we're gonna cut you. But hold on. We may still trade you, but we might cut you. Give me your thoughts on this whole scenario. It's a scenario, not a scenario. Scenario.
So remember on Wednesday when I told you were giving him too much credit for thinking that the Andy Dalton thing was it? This is exactly what I was talking about. I don't think I hate to call this a rebuild, but it's starting to look like they're trying to rebuild, which makes no sense to me, but there's no other reason to start just getting rid of your best players. I know Eddie Goldman is coming back, but Akeem Hicks has been an anchor on that line. And, you put that along with the Kyle Fuller thing and then the Andy Dalton thing, you start putting all these pieces together. And this is starting to look very similar to what the Blackhawks did in that they brought back Colleton, they brought back Bowman, even though, fans and everybody else was calling for their head after last season. The Blackhawks have been playing, better. They hitting a little rough streak here because they're playing some good teams. But I don't see this as anything but a rebuild. How can I not look at it like that? Unless they're going to do some hellified drafting, which hasn't been Ryan Pace's strong point in his entire career.
No,
I don't know what else to call it.
First round hasn't been his strong point. He's got. I mean,
true.
don't get me wrong. You got to hit in those first rounders.
You got to hit the first rounders. Yeah,
but he's done pretty well in the second, third, and fourth. I got to even say second because I was still holding the Adam Shaheen thing over his head, and then he got James Daniel and he's got Cody Whitehair. I'm like, all right, those two nullify the Adam Shaheen second round debacle. But in the second, I told you, bro, I want him to pick from round 3 on. Round 3 to round 7, you've hit gold, Jerry, gold.
Yeah. It's just bad though, Shawn. It's just, again, it's demoralizing and it's terrible public relations. And the public relations part, they're not going to get from underneath, man. I don't see how Bears fans recover from this.
So here's a question that I thought. Okay, because we all know, or most should know, the NFL signed a huge deal, $113 billion mega streaming and broadcasting deal with Amazon, Disney Plus, and all these other things, and so $113 billion. If you want these players, why don't you restructure their contracts and say, okay, you're going to start getting money? Because I would say the cap's going to go up next year, but for 2023, for sure, it's going up. And it literally could double. We could have a $250 million cap, $300 million cap, because dude, $113 billion. Why not say, hey, listen, we'll extend you. We're going to take all the money here. We're going to put it all on the back end, and do that if you want these guys, because you can have these guys, but it's just a year or two because you don't know or maybe they do know, but you don't know when you're going to get that salary cap bump, either 22 or 23, because 23, that salary cap bump is there. There's no ifs, ands, or buts about it. Why do you think they don't do that to their players now?
Well, because, the McCaskey family has, they're very frugal. They're very frugal. I'm being serious. They had a year this year where they didn't get any sales from people being in the stands. They didn't get that parking money. They didn't get the vending money. They cut down on their merchandise sales. And they're about bottom line kind of family. And I'm not saying they're cheap, because I think they've spent a lot of money on players in recent years, but I do think they're very frugal. So, having a bad financial year, this is the stuff they do, man. It doesn't make any sense.
Yeah.
From a football standpoint, it doesn't make any sense. From a financial standpoint, I understand where they're going.
I do. I understand it completely. I really do. And sometimes we as fans, we got to remember that it is still a business for them. It's their only business. So if it's
their only business, yep.
And like we talked about earlier, like Jerry Jones and Arthur Blank and some of these other guys, like that's not their only business. They bought it after they were billionaires. You know, like after, and they have another business that's still making them hundreds of millions and millions of dollars or billions of dollars. And this is their toy, their pet project, their side piece, their their plaything, but it's not them. And they don't mind losing money on it if they do, because it's their side piece. Their main source of income isn't affected, but this family's, their main source of income is affected. Give me your thoughts though. Allen Robinson signed the franchise tag yesterday. Do you think it was because they finally got a quarterback who's pretty good in Andy Dalton? Again, I'm not putting him in Canton by any stretch, but he's a pretty good quarterback if you watch what him and A.J. Green have been able to do in Cincinnati. Or do you think it was because they brought in Kenny Galladay and he felt a little pressure? Or do you think it was the market wasn't as big or as fruitful as you thought? What do you think
There's your answer. That last one. It's the third one. I also think he figures, okay, I'll play a year and then I'm out. Unless they decide, because they can't franchise tag him again.
Yeah.
Or they can. They can't. Yeah. They're not, but they're not though. They're not.
Yeah.
I don't see them doing that. He said, okay, I'll take the money. But he's going to try to leave when he can. I don't think he's happy here at all. I just don't. This whole thing is just. It is what we all thought it was on first instinct. I know we're trying to reevaluate it and give him some benefit of the doubt, or at least trying to figure out what logically they could be doing. I'm not going there. I've seen this what it is. I've seen this movie for years now, and I'm tired of it. And so are most people.
Give me your thoughts because on the Russell Wilson deal not being dead, because according to Patrick Finley in the Sun-Times yesterday, he wrote, and this was what I had mentioned earlier. I didn't have the exact number, but if he's released if he's let go by the Seattle Seahawks before June 1st, the Seahawks have a $39 million dead cap hit. I don't, listen. I know you're going to get back draft picks and everything. That's $39 million of money you can't use for a guy who's not even there. So when people talked about, everyone, they got to remember it's a business, and this is they don't remember as Pete Carroll's like, no. If we're going to have this hit, and I know he's not the GM, but still, if we're going to have this hit, we might as well have him play this year, okay? Or we can wait till after June 1st and the hit drops dramatically. So I'm thinking that there's still some hope after the June 1st issue, because now about it with Phil beforehand. He goes, you know what, you can make a deal. And this is what I'm thinking, and I'm hoping that they're smart enough to do. Say, okay, we'll trade up to 12. We'll get your guy, Seattle, whoever you want as a quarterback. Okay, that'll be the first round pick one of the first 3 round picks, first 3 first rounders. We'll trade you that guy. We'll trade you Andy Dalton for Russell Wilson. Well, plus the other things that we give him, maybe the 3 first round picks, everything else. But now you got a quarterback. You may be able to take that third off the table. You may be able to get one starter off the table, because now you're getting your quarterback that you might not have gotten because of your regular season record and where you're picking in the draft.
Here's
so now
the thing.
You up. Go ahead. What's up?
Here's the thing, Shawn. If you do that, again, you're blowing up your credibility big time. Andy Dalton came here and said yesterday at that press conference, they brought me here to be the starting quarterback. You trade this fool before he even step on the field, after you told him you were signing him to be the starting quarterback, every other player in the league just saw that. Every other player in the league just now. Don't get me wrong, the Bears
We didn't lie. We
stupid
didn't
enough to
lie.
do it.
We didn't lie. You're gonna be starting for Seattle. You're still gonna be signed here to be the starting quarterback for Seattle. We didn't say for us. We just said you're quarterback number one.
Okay, Shawn, you tried.
I didn't say specifically for the Bears.
Yeah, okay. You try that one if you want to. I don't see that working. I just think that he's not coming to Chicago. He could. There's a lot of things that could happen. I just don't think it will happen. I think they're gonna go with Andy Dalton as their quarterback. I think they're gonna draft a quarterback. Not sure if they'll do it in the first round because they've got some other needs, but they might. I definitely think by the second or the third round, they're gonna draft a quarterback though. They have to.
What do you think? What do you think about Ryan Pace and Nagy possibly being extended on a down low? Because remember, in 22, maybe 20, but definitely 2023, but maybe 2022, that cap jumps up and they got more money to play with.
Wouldn't surprise me. Wouldn't surprise me. Like I said, this has a very similar feel to the Blackhawks to me. We were all shocked when we found out Colton got an extension and Stan Bowman got a promotion. We were like, what? We gave these guys a promotion and an extension? So it would not surprise me at all. This has that very similar feeling, man. Blackhawks, they didn't bring back Crawford. The Bears not bringing back Fuller. It's just too many similarities. And I know a lot of this is business decisions. And a lot of it, too, is people just trying to protect their ego and their arrogance and say, no, I can do this and I'm going to do it my way, despite all the public outcry.
I agree with you. I think they're not looking pretty. There's no way they're going to look pretty unless they get Russell Wilson. It's going to wipe off a lot of angst and vitriol that we had toward them. Okay. And if they came out, and here's, sometimes some of the things that if you were just honest and transparent with us, just be honest with us. The Cubs did it and people dealt with it. The White Sox did it. The people dealt with it. You know what I mean? If you're honest as a Bear, say, hey, listen, it's going to be tough. We're gonna do what we can. We may have to have some cap casualties, okay, but trust me, we're still gonna put the best product that we can. We're gonna restructure contracts so we can keep as many guys as we can, okay. But when that things are gonna open up for us a little better as well as the rest of the NFL in 2022 or 2023. You tell us that, like, okay, we understand money. We understand everybody understands about being short a little bit. You know what I mean? We understand.
Right.
So if you tell us as fans, that's something we can relate to. That's something we can relate to. Okay, you're a little short on money because COVID. You didn't have season ticket holders last year. You didn't generate the revenue. You have the revenue. You just deferred it to this year. But you weren't getting concessions. You weren't getting merchandising in the thing. You weren't getting any parking if they get the parking. There's a whole bunch of other streams of income you weren't getting. So we get it. But just be honest with us. Again, don't look me in the eye, piss on my shoes, and tell me it's raining. That's going to piss me the hell off. Thinking we're stupid, which that end of the year presser was. So if they're honest, man, it'll go a long way for credibility and for trust from us who basically everyone in Chicago, they've given you their lives as Bear fans, and you're just going to come around and lie to us, because you're the only show in town, man.
I wanted to ask you, Jason, and you too, Shawn. I wasn't around when Michael was in charge. I wasn't around when Michael was in charge, but all I know is it was bad. Do you like the way that George came out, the bravado, and he's gotten more confrontational. You know what I'm saying? He's gotten more challenging. I feel like he's puffed up his chest a little bit. Like, how do we believe anything that he says anymore? Like, you went ahead and barked, and it turned out that that big shadow was just a little chihuahua behind the curtain. You know what I'm saying?
Well,
like, you haven't done anything but talk. So how do we even trust anything he says going here on out?
Well, here's the thing. When Michael McCaskey was in charge, we knew straight out the bat he was just cheap. We knew it. We were like, he's not going to pay nobody. When they get good, he's not going to pay them. So you knew what you were dealing with. With George, it's you feel like he was being more forthright. But then when you watch what he does, you're like, wait a minute, what are you doing, dude? I think if anything, he shows that he doesn't know football. I think Michael knew a little bit better football. He just wasn't gonna pay nobody. I think that's the difference between the two.
Let me switch gears a little bit and talk to me real quick for another moment. How excited you are about high school football starting today?
It's so much on my plate. I forgot high school football was starting until I went to referee a volleyball match yesterday, and I saw the football players practicing. I was like, holy crap, there's a football season going because, it's spring. You're not, you're used to maybe some spring football, some practice, but, I was at Lakes High School up here in Lake Villa, and, I'm looking, I'm like, man, they got 70 kids out there. What's going on? I was like, oh, hell, it's football season on Friday. So, I'm happy that the young people are getting a chance to play. It would have really sucked for the seniors to not have their senior year. I'm very happy to see the young people play, and that's with all the sports, especially the spring sports, because let's remember, they didn't get a chance to play last year. So remember, because when Corona hit, all the baseball players, softball players, all of them didn't get a season. Yep. So, it would have really sucked for them to lose 2 seasons. And I think that is the real reason why the IHSA is trying to leave open the possibility of a state tournament in the spring sports, because they don't want them to go 2 years without a state tournament. And that's why they made the decision for the winter sports like basketball not to have a state tournament, because they did get to have one, for the most part last year. They got to play some playoff games.
Yeah, it's going to be good because I know I would have been one of those guys who would have been lost if this happened to me back in when I was coming out, because I didn't play a lot as a junior, and I had to do a Barry Sanders, you know what I mean? So, and that's going to happen to a lot of kids. So I'm really happy that even though it's only a 6-game schedule, St. Rita's got 3 at home, the first 3 at home, and then the last 3 on the road. But I think it's going to be good because there are going to be some kids who are still going to be able to earn some scholarships, guys who didn't play a lot last year, who've really done a whole bunch, and they had the extra time in the weight room, with this, actual practicing when the football season and not practicing, but lifting and staying in shape. So they'll get some looks, and I hope not too many, because it's going to happen. It's just the law of averages and karma. I just hope not too many kids get hurt. Kids in that situation who are senior years, their first year, and getting noticed. I just hope not too many of those guys get hurt, so they don't get a good look by a lot of different colleges. So
right, and you also got to consider too, Shawn, real quick, that some schools are actually going to try to pull off prom for the spring. Some of them are going to try to actually have a graduation ceremony. They're trying to come up with a lot of creative ways and doing it outside and really having people spread out. And I think they're going to be able to pull off some of this stuff. We all forget about this. These kids lost their proms. They lost their graduations last year. They lost their spring dances. They lost a lot of stuff. So, if they can do it, safely, even if it's very modified, I'm all for it. They may even do a couple of modified homecomings for some of these football games just to give these kids and stuff. And for me, it's not about who wins anything this year. For me, it's about just letting the kids play, and I know me doing volleyball this week, a lot of kids were just happy to be out there on the court, playing. And I'm sure when my water polo kicks in Tuesday, it's going to be the same way. The kids just want to play.
That's it. Well, listen, we had a great show. 3 hours has come and gone. I want to thank our guest Joseph Phillips, Kenneth Davis, our guy, the DDP himself, the draft doctor, Phil Atoshin, and my man right here, Jason Palmer. Guys, thanks for making it a great show. And I'd be remiss if I didn't mention the man who makes it run all smoothly, my guy, Ivan Vargas. I also want to thank Elliot Baez, our executive producer, our social media guru himself, Clarence Council III, and my co-host, Imsentia, Maya Akai. All of us, we're happy to bring a good product, a quality product to you guys every single time. So for everybody that I mentioned, Jason Palmer and Ivan Vargas.
Hey guys, remember tomorrow we're going to be on location for the Humidor Sports and Cigars podcast. We're going to be in Hammond, Indiana. I got the picture right here. It's just like not coming up for me. There we go. We're going to be in Hammond, Indiana at Society Cigar Lounge. It's going to be fun. It's going to, me and the fellas will be down there. I'm going to have my brother over there taking pictures as well. So we'll have some stuff to put up on Monday. Should be a good show. We're gonna, watch basketball. Probably have a couple cigars. I'm sure there'll be beverages about. But yeah, it should be a good time. Tune in. It should be fun.
All right, guys. Thank you very much for joining in. Listen, make sure you download the app. Wherever you get your apps from, download SportsZone Chicago. So until then, for everybody on the show, I got 2 words for you. We out.